There's got to...
This is a warning to all living mortals, that who shall ever open this chest of demons will release 13 of the most terrifying ghosts upon the face of the earth. Okay, cut it. This isn't going to work. Let's try some nostalgia bait.
It's finally strange. You looking at the leafy rain. I can't tell if you're in bed, or have you picked your target yet? It's empty. Got your dog bite. It's empty.
Jog.
Okay, that was better. But let's try something a bit more cinematic.
Hey, where my broken arrows at? They try to tell us we can't fly. Like we too broken or something. I mean, just had to let them know. Balls up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. Get them balls up. Get them balls up. Get them balls up. Get them balls up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. Hold up. My squad about to roll up. All the way up. Get them balls 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 all the way up. Broken arrows get bows up. Sometimes I pray with my nose up. Thinking about when the world crumbles and my whole squad just goes up. Ain't gotta worry, we straight like an arrow, yeah. Ain't gotta worry about faith, nope. I'm on that straight and the narrow, yeah. I just go straight like an arrow, yeah.
Yeah, that's the shit I like. Let's start the Barroom podcast. Take it away, Jacob.
We're just going to pretend like I didn't botch this intro by not removing the opening wall here. 1, 2, 3, go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here once again for episode 145 of the Ballroom. As you see, I have a lovely group of people joining me here for tonight's episode. I'll go ahead and give everyone an introduction here. Our good buddy Cider's here. How's it going, Cider?
I am totally not trying to hide a vampire bite on my neck, Jacob. What a strange thing to ask a man on a Saturday night in April and or May.
I didn't even ask you at all. I didn't know you had one. Like, I was going to ask you about your hat. I wanted to see if that was Maine, but now you just made it weird. Also joining us here tonight is our good buddy Rob Model. How's it going?
Sinners doesn't come out till next week. I hope everybody can hear me.
I think we can hear you perfectly now.
Yeah, I figured it out. I was muted in my sound settings. So as I get older here, I get more lazy, and I'm becoming out of touch with technology on a very basic level. So I have to sort of get in touch with that, make sure that doesn't deteriorate anymore. But hey, I saw Warfare yesterday, and it was actually really good. So it was nice. It was actually looking forward to it, and it was good. Previews weren't too long. It was a good time, and I'm just glad that was a good, positive experience, because everything else this year has just been like, I'm not going to leave the house to see that, but and I'll be in New York next week when Sinners comes out, so I don't have to go see that opening weekend.
Well, we'll talk about the movies here, because I did see that movie. I saw another movie too, The Amateur, but we'll get into that as the show goes on here. Good buddy Eddie Brock is also here with us. How are you looking on a Saturday afternoon on your side of the world?
It is a lovely Saturday afternoon. The reason why we didn't notice, Cider, the vampire bite, that you didn't want to bring us up, is because it's an absolutely wonderful cardigan you have on right now. It's nice and tight and looks comfortable.
It's like a nice little Christmas sweater.
Yeah, which is, I guess, in Maine. In Maine, I guess that kind of works out. It's always Christmas out there.
Yeah, it's like a Hallmark movie every day, except with vampires.
I watched the Hallmark movie today. It was awesome. So, yeah.
Vampires?
Vampires in Alaska sounds like something that you would see on like the Discovery
in Alaska. Maine and Alaska just right next door to each other. I'm just constantly falling over the border into Alaska here, just every morning, flop right out into Alaska.
A few miles away.
It was called Jerry and Marge Go Large, and it has Walter White and Annette Bening as a lotto winning couple.
You know what? That's a good game show, Jacob. Hallmark movie or porno? That's where you do the titles. Right?
I mean, they're
in Marge Go Large. Is that what do you? That's not the first. I didn't think Hallmark movie when I heard that title.
Hallmark movie. It's basically like softcore porn for like middle-aged white women, anyway. So I mean,
see, there you go. Such a perfect game show. Hallmark movie or porno.
Annette Bening was uncomfortably horny throughout the entire movie. I mean, it was very, very uncomfortable.
I don't even know who that is. So there we go.
She's married to Warren Beatty, and you probably don't know who that is either. So, yeah, it's okay. She's an older actress.
You're very lucky to not know.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you're not missing out on much, honestly. But
yeah.
No.
So we're here tonight, not on our usual night. It's a Saturday night. So obviously, you guys know I haven't been streaming the last couple of days. So I'll just go ahead and give you kind of a quick update. Last Tuesday was kind of a shitty day for the most part. It did start off great. I think there's been some, encouraging things, but essentially, as you guys know, my mom's been sick for a while. It's been going on for about 2.5 years now. And fortunately, it seems like, the illness may be, taking a bit of a toll now. So over the course of the last week, I've been dealing with that behind the scenes, and kind of we're at the point where we kind of have to start taking those uncomfortable conversations of like, okay, what's going to happen in the next few weeks, next few months moving forward? How do we plan for this, whatever the case may be? And to tell you guys completely straight up, I don't really know exactly how my streaming schedule is going to work over the next couple of weeks. If it was solely up to me, I would just keep streaming on the same way that I have been doing, because it gives me something to focus on, gives me some kind of structure. With the same time, we're still waiting on, results and talks with doctors, which may not happen until at least Monday. So I'm not entirely sure if there's going to be a show on Tuesday or night. I won't know. It's probably to the last minute. There won't be a Bible in tomorrow. That has nothing to do with what's going on. I have to do something that's actually pretty uplifting and encouraging behind closed doors, but that's why we won't be doing one tomorrow. Hopefully I can do one for you guys next Sunday as well, but just know right now I'm kind of in limbo, and that's what's the really frustrating thing about this whole situation, because accepting the loss of a loved one is something that I've had to kind of deal with over the last couple of years. It is not really that aspect of it that bothers me the most. It's just really the uncertainty and trying to make sure that other people around me, other family members, are basically kept together. So it's required a lot of responsibility out of me. I haven't had enough time to divulge into content as much as I would like to. So I'm just kind of let you all right now. Be patient for the next few weeks. I'll try to give you guys as updated as best as I possibly can. But straight up, I don't even know what's going to happen over the course of the next few weeks. So like I said, just have as much patience with me as I possibly can. However, we do have a free night tonight. Everything is going as well as it possibly can right now. So we're going to move forward with tonight's show. I want to thank first you guys, for everyone who reached out to me this week, everyone with your prayers this week. Very much appreciated. Not only just here, you guys, people who have done it on social media, and especially in real life, who have come out and given a lot of help to me, a lot of help to my family. I really appreciate that. And to all you guys listening here on YouTube, Rumble, and on X here tonight as well, thank you very much for joining us here for a Saturday night episode. Because we're not on our normal night, I might want to go a little bit longer with tonight's episode, because hell, it's Saturday night. We ain't got nothing to do. That's why we're here in the first place. So fuck it. Maybe if I want to go just a little bit longer or type a couple things, because these are the topics that I chose earlier in the week, but then as the course of the week progressed here, a couple more things happened that I wanted to cut. So some of these things may be a little bit late on, some of these things a little bit early on, so we'll mix it all together, and then we'll have a little bit of fun and towards the end of tonight's show as well. So real quick, let's go ahead and introduce everyone who's in the chat. Sakura Mita is the first one here, and Mina, you would ask me this question on 01, and I had no context of what you were talking about, which is why I didn't answer it then. Apparently, this is the creator behind the Netflix Devil May Cry series, which I know has gotten a lot of pushback for some of the obvious reasons. This Sunday.
And Tomb Raider.
And Tomb Raider. Yeah, this Sunday I was supposed to do an episode about Hollywood Gnosticism. Obviously, that's been pushed back. Maybe, hopefully, for at least just one more week. But along the same lines, based on what I've seen, the point that a lot of people are talking about is how they made the demons in hell like somehow the victims of the story and how America's the bad guy. I would say yes, that is a form of Gnosticism. I can't go fully into it until I do the Bible in show, then I can put to you in great detail. But just to simply answer your question, yes, I would say that by its very definition. We also have Neozoic here joining us here, and he has a lot of, he's calling us comedians now. Oh, what's up with that? I'm not a comedian. How dare you? How dare you call a rap a clown? That
Do we look funny to you?
Exactly. Silly question: which crime comedy directed by the Coen brothers would you rather watch, Fargo or The Big Lebowski?
Oh wait! I gotta say this before we get too far away from that. When I first met Rob, I thought he was like related to Dave Attell. Okay, so I'm sorry. I really thought there was a minute there. I was like, is this like a cousin or like a nephew of Dave Attell? But he was a late night comedian guy that did like the weird raunchy comedy stuff.
Insomniac. Insomniac with Dave Attell.
Great show.
Yeah, no, I remember that show. It was entertaining for sure, but
it's not a dig because the guy's really cool for me. I thought he was really cool.
He's like the hack comedian's hack comedian. Like he's famous for like just being a, kind of being in the, doing shitty clubs, going across the country. He'll, doesn't matter. He'll do it. He's a trooper. So I'll take that as a slight compliment.
We love David Tell.
If I had to pick a movie here, I would honestly go with The Big Lebowski, only because I was entertained more the way that they're watching Fargo. Not taking a shot at either movie. I'm just saying that that's the way I would lean if you have to pick between one of the two.
Yeah, I love The Big Lebowski. It's hilarious to me. I always use it as a litmus test for the women I wanted to marry. If they could laugh at The Big Lebowski, I was willing to get engaged to them.
I actually think that's a very good litmus test. It's The Big Lebowski for me. Look, I think Fargo's grown on me a little bit. I never really understood people calling it like even a black comedy, because to me it's just a crime movie. I mean, there's some funny things in it, but I never really got people's like thinking it's hilarious or something. I was like, that's more of a straight crime movie to me. The Big Lebowski is absolutely like taking on like the stoner detective movies from the 70s, and even like some of the film noir private detective movies like The Maltese Falcon, The Big Sleep of the 1940s. And then it's just hilarious on itself, like just by itself, like John Goodman basically channeling and it's his birthday today, John Milius, and just being this Vietnam era veteran who's just constantly brings it up, and it's just a hilarious movie. And thinking about it recently, because I'm starting to sell final expense insurance. It's just The Big Lebowski is one of my favorite movies, I think, and definitely pick that one over Fargo.
Billy, this is what you get.
This is what you get when you. Anyway, yeah, that's the thing. When I was a kid, I loved Fargo because like I was like really artsy and like art movie guy, right? And so like Fargo has a lot of like beautiful spots and a lot of beautiful shots that are like 18th century Midwestern paintings, and it's a gorgeous movie to look at, and it's funny in its way because they talk they're funny, and they the one thing I love. You're a liar, Mr. Lundegaard. You're a fucking liar.
True coat? Because he lied about the true coat.
Right, they get you out that true coat. There's like a lot of that kind of humor in it. And it's at the time it was completely new. And but I have to say I lived The Big Lebowski, so I have to give it that one. So
we'll get to this here in a second, but I want to get to
I'm the dude. Or Deuterino, or
I'm glad. I'm glad you weren't Jesus polishing your balls.
Yeah, right.
Are you ready to get fucked, man? That's the other thing. Big Lebowski is much more quotable than Fargo.
Yeah. There you go.
Yes, that's Neozoic also says, in memory of Val Kilmer, who passed away a couple weeks ago, what's your favorite movie or performance that he was in? I gotta be completely honest with you guys here, and this might give me some rocks thrown my way. I wasn't a huge Val Kilmer fan. Like, I really wasn't. I don't hate the guy. Like, I don't dislike him, but I was never really a big fan of his work. So obviously, I think it was probably in our older generation, more people liked them from, Top Gun, Tombstone, Batman, stuff like that. But it's like, to me, I just never exactly clicked with me. If you had to ask me what's one of my favorite performance, I would have to just go with Top Gun by default, because to be honest with you, I don't think that Batman movie was all that great. But maybe you guys have some different opinions on that. Rob, what would you pick?
Yeah, I'm actually in the same boat as you. I'm not a big Val Kilmer fan, and I know personally he was kind of a prima donna on film sets. I mean, when he was happy, he was pretty easy to work with, but a lot of the time, especially as Batman, especially just did not get along with a lot of the people on set and the director, and obviously, I think it shows. I don't think it's a great movie, but I would say Heat. Heat is my favorite Val Kilmer performance as Chris Sherrillis, who, I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot of dialogue, but he's somebody who struggles with gambling issues, and he's trying to keep his marriage to Ashley Judd together. And like, he's there at the very end after he's got shot, like, I think 2 or 3 times by a high powered rifle. And he's there still trying to like keep his marriage together. And she signals him that, like, it's a setup, and he's able to kind of like drive away and get away. Where the main character, Robert De Niro, doesn't. So I think that's his best performance. I think that there's a lot of fans of that movie that would probably agree with me. But then again, you have a lot of people out there who love Tombstone and love his Doc Holliday performance. I think it's a good performance. It's just, it's a little, it's a little hammy. It's a little, he's very much in touch with all the mannerisms and small touches that make it a great performance, but that also stand out a little bit to someone like myself.
Yep. Tombstone. My father was in the Cowboys, so I was brought up with Tombstone. So yeah, absolutely, that was the one.
I like The Saint a lot more than most of the others. Because I like The Saint because I was into like spies and stuff like that. So GoldenEye just came out and everything else. So The Saint and The World Is Not Enough. And so The Saint just fit right in there with the, being all spy-like and everything. He seemed really fun in that. Plus, I like Batman Forever. I like his portrayal of Batman. Tell me, Doctor, do you like the circus? Sorry.
Was that the recent Top Gun movie?
that was Batman Forever. I don't know why, but like for whatever reason, like he didn't open his mouth all the way when he was like asking Nicole Kidman out. He's like, "Excuse me, Doctor, do you like the circus?"
That whole movie was a mess. It was just an absolute mess. Let's say Lisa Dawn Skos. Some
good luck,
can
dude.
pronounce.
It's Schessler.
Schessler. Okay, yeah. Okay, sounds German. That's all I know.
It is. Yeah.
Scheiße!
Mm-hmm.
Nope, not that one. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
I still say in the middle of this song, in the opening, he's saying, "Hey Cindy, got your dog? Bye. Hey Cindy, got your dog? Bye.
Aye. Hey Cindy.
Hey,
Got your dog? Bye. So this guy stole a woman's dog.
Hey,
about him stealing a woman's dog.
And then Cider just come by this gamer. Hey yo.
Yeah, right. Even though Skater Cider. That's never something you're never going to see in real life. That's absolutely going to be AI every time.
What, you mean you never done a 900 in your life, like even in your early days?
No, I have no idea what that is.
You never
that could be a drug if you just said that to me somewhere.
You never shredded the thread?
Again, that sounds like something you do with cocaine.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I did an ollie once. Emphasis on once in my life.
Oh, so you're talking about skateboarding. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. There we go.
It says Neozoic here. What was thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2 controversy? I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a big modern gamer, but I know everyone's whining about the prices of video games going up. It's like, the value of your dollar is rapidly deteriorating, and that's usually what happens. You could go all the way back to like the 1960s when we got taken off the gold standard and see the dramatic downfall of our society just by that one event. Remember back in the 1964, like remember coins were a thing when people had change. Guess what? Your silver in your quarter used to have real silver in them. Like they're called junk silver now. They're worth thousands of dollars because they actually have like liquid value instilled into them. So
not only that, but we had an actual video game crash not only 40 years ago with this exact reason. Yeah. The prices of games were going too high for consumer need to want. You know.
I was just watching the setup, which is this boxing movie from 1950, and this lady's complaining about these two bags full of groceries. It's $1.33, and I'm just like, that world's never coming back. But it's just like, man, that is so incredibly cheap.
We are dangerously close to a reality where we're pricing everyone out of entertainment, like movies, WWE, video games. We're getting dangerously close to a time period where people are going to have no choice but to go back outside. You know where we're at?
Indie entertainment is the thing. That's that thread, the shred, or whatever that was, is indie entertainment, and that's what'll kill Nintendo now. Is that they the issue is you got to come up with something bigger, better, badder than last time. Yeah. And really, most people who play the Mario Kart game are not going to take advantage of this ride around the world together with your friends thing. They just want to race. That's why you buy that game. But in an effort to create a bigger, badder Mario Kart, they added that, which they used to justify this new price. Instead, they could have just come out with, it's Mario Kart again, guys, but there's more characters. That's all they had to do.
Well, I tell you what here, DK also joining us here said, don't worry. Yeah, I can't even think of anything positive to say about wrestling at the moment, especially since WrestleMania is like literally next week, and I have absolutely no interest of doing a stream for it, even if I could do a stream for it next week. But that's a whole other conversation for another day because wrestling's not in a great situation at the moment. I think Charlotte Flair is probably about 5 minutes away from a Great American Crash Out in real life, and that's probably the most entertaining storyline going into all of WrestleMania at this point. So
pretty much, yeah. That and Kevin Owens yelling at people and trying to smack children around.
Yeah, a guy just like, hey guys, my neck is really banged up. I'm gonna be gone for the next 15 months. And
don't make me lose my smile, guys.
Yeah, and then immediately tries to fight a fan like 3 seconds later. What are you doing?
Christ, you dummy! You're supposed to sell it.
Anyway,
at least for what it is before that, at least we know in about 2 or 3 weeks after WrestleMania, that's when they'll start doing the firings, and so we might get something decent after that. I love that spear, by the way, by Braun Breaker. Good job, Braun.
Yeah, I mean he literally charged at him so fast he almost DDT'd himself. Like
that's a Steiner for you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we got to catch up on a couple of topics here that I didn't get a chance to cover earlier because of reasons. But we'll go ahead and start with the Minecraft movie because this movie became like a mega hit success, and I don't know, I understand why now. But at the time, like I didn't get it because at first the reviews came out for this film, and literally everyone who saw it said it was the worst piece of crap they've ever seen in their entire life. And then somehow it ended up making like $300 million the same weekend. And I was like, who's going out to watch this movie? And then all of a sudden you realize, oh yeah, it's meme generation. It's Generation Z. They're going out there because apparently there's a whole bunch of quotable memes in this film, and they eventually turned Minecraft into an MCU movie. So there's been countless videos on social media regarding this, about how people are going to movie theaters and turning it into a theme park ride. And this is just another example of what's been going on here with this film. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the chicken jockey meme up to this point. And you got people throwing popcorn in the air and hooting and hollering. And
is that what chicken jockey is?
Apparently.
I had no idea. I literally...
apparently...
Okay. Let me explain. In the game...
It's okay.
In the game... Okay, all right. Anyway, in the game... Baby zombies can mount on top of chickens and ride them like knights ride horses, and they can come at you and like have a they have twice the attack power of an adult zombie when they're riding a chicken.
Oh, okay.
And it's not the name. I don't know it as a chicken jockey. It's just the only name I know it by is a baby zombie on a chicken. But I'm not like a memer kid that lives on a server with other people. I play by myself. So,
right.
and that's where this comes from, is that this is their culture. So there you go. Now you know where the chicken jockey came from. It's in the game. You literally will run into this thing and it will fuck you up. Okay? It will fuck you up.
All right.
So yeah, everyone has seen multiple videos online about just people in theaters like marking out for these moments. Apparently, multiple teenagers have been arrested and kicked out of the screenings. They've literally
guy brought a
stopped
chicken.
screenings. Oh, I think this is the video here of the guy bringing the live chicken.
Chicken jockey!
Yes!
Oh, hell no!
It's just obliterate the theater when Jack
What
says
the F?
That's the challenge.
No, there has been one video after another of like the aftermath of these screenings, and it's literally just filth and popcorn everywhere. Yep. And it's like it makes like no sense. So here's my thoughts on this whole situation, right? Because like I said, this movie is the #1 movie so far this year, which I gotta be honest, it's not saying much because, as me and Rob was pointing out, this has been a terrible year, like for movies. I will say this just real quick. I did see Warfare, the movie, on Thursday. It's actually a really good movie. That's my best movie so far this year. I saw The Amateur too with Remy Malek. Wasn't a bad movie. Thought the last 20 minutes dragged on way too long. Could have been shorter. Would have been better. But I mean, that's really it. There's not a lot of movies that really gravitate to. And you have this movie Minecraft, which is obviously a franchise movie. I thought that the reason why this wasn't going to work was because the meme of Minecraft has been like passed for like almost 10 years now. It's like they started this thing, I think, in like 2008 when they got the balls rolling on this whole situation. And the movie only just now came out. So I thought that they were going to miss the meme by the fact it took them so long to break this movie out there. But apparently all these kids and their teenage boys, whatever the case may be, are going out there and they're turning this movie into like the Fast and Furious ride at Universal Studios, and that's kind of what makes it exciting. And look, I can be an old curmudgeon because I think the reason why so many people hated the initial reviews is, let's be honest, we're not in the target demographic for this film. This target demographic is like 14 to 25, in that range. We're completely far out of that range. And if you're even older than us, then there's absolutely nothing in this film for you whatsoever. But this is a film that clicks with this particular audience. And like I said, I don't get Minecraft. I'm not a Minecraft fan, but these kids are seemingly have somewhat revived a horrific year in movies by turning this movie into a meme that they are enjoying. And it's like, I mean, what else do you have to offer? You don't have anything else to offer as a counter to this. Like, I can't be a snooty, film snob and be like, oh, you guys should be watching real cinema, like Nora ? Question mark? Like, what am I going to offer as a counter to this film? What do you got, Slider?
One of my favorite tweets was a father that took his kid and he posted this image of John Hamm from Mad Men. He said, "This was my son throughout the entire movie." I kept looking over and he was just absolute cinema right into this movie. And the thing is Minecraft doesn't have a story. It's literally anything you want it to be. The only goal there is that marks like the completion of the game is to defeat the Ender Dragon. The Ender Dragon isn't your enemy. You just go to the end of the game and it's there and you can kill it because it's there and it's menacing and that's it. It's minding its own business and you murder it. That's it. But Minecraft doesn't have a story. So that's what they approached this with, is that they did the Jumanji thing. They were like, oh, Izakai's popular with the kids, so we'll just Izakai Steve into the story. So we'll explain how you end up on the island. And that's all they did. And they just started trying to honestly, what they did was they said, what would be the dumbest thing that could happen right now? And then they put it to film. That's what they did. They have Jack Black leaping off of like this 90-story cliff shouting, "Coming in hot." And the kids just light up with it. That's not in Minecraft. That's not anything you do in Minecraft. Oh, that means something entirely different to that crew. Chicken jockey means entirely something different.
Yeah. But no, look,
this was the face of every kid in that Minecraft movie. That's the thing. They were just stunned by how great this movie is.
Rob, I'm gonna pass this off to you because I talked a little bit about this on the Wednesday show, and it's like, we're in a spot here with entertainment and like these kids, these Gen Z kids, where they don't have anything that's really truly theirs at this point. I mean, we're in a generation that has been solely like captured in like remakes of things that were better in like the 80s and the 90s and the 70s, wherever the case may be. This generation is basically getting watered down leftovers from a better generation. So it's like, what original thing do they truly have to gravitate towards? And it's not a lot. And I feel like this generation has kind of navigated, I guess, drawn themselves to Minecraft of all things. And I think it's a bigger symptom of just a creative bankruptcy and in a larger scale things where, yes, this movie is essentially brain rot the film, but that's all that they have. We haven't presented them anything else to really, gravitate towards. And it's like, is that really their fault that they've grown up in a generation that has nothing, unlike us and generations before us, or it's just the situation that we're in right now?
Yeah, I mean, I want okay. I could feel sorry for them, but I don't know. I kind of come from the standard standpoint, old curmudgeon point of view that kids don't know anything, so I don't really care what they like. However, you're right. There isn't much for them to really latch onto. It's not like they have even good cartoons. You know what I mean? And I have a nephew. I literally he's visiting this weekend. He's upstairs. He saw the Minecraft movie. He loves Minecraft. He talked about it well before I even knew the movie was coming out. When the movie was announced, I think Rob McElhenney was attached to it, the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, who plays Mac. So that's how long that movie's been kind of in pre-production and getting all their ducks in a row. But look, it's successful. There's a market for it. I thought it was going to be like Borderlands in terms of its success, but it's more like one of the Sonic movies in terms of, the response it's gotten. And yeah, I think the reaction in the theaters is stupid. And it's like, okay, do your parents not like slap you around when you misbehave? Like, do you not know how to go out? And again, I'm tongue in cheek. I mean, I know that obviously,
all I will say is that you have to, if you're gonna do an event like this where you got live chickens and popcorn being thrown all over the place, you have to be in the right side of town to pull something like this off. Because if you go to the wrong side of town and try to do this, it will not end very well for you. And I'll just leave you to your own imagination there.
Unless you're Tijuana.
The wrong hat.
So, but I do think that there is a point to be made that, like, there every once in a while, and we've seen this the last couple of years, there'll be an animated thing for kids and families, and it just hits at the right moment because they're starved for something. Disney has completely turned their back on families, it seems like, where they're not interested in giving them what they want. Something that's humanistic and has heart and whatever, and again, I'm not going to see the Minecraft movie. It's not for me. It's whatever.
I play it, and I'm not going to watch. I'm not
Gronk,
going to watch this.
No, and I know.
Gronk, what was the target demographic for the live action Little Mermaid show?
I don't know, like little girls and their. I don't know.
Overweight Tumblrite white women. That's who that movie was made for. It was overweight Tumblrite white women who got to live through transvestite Melissa McCarthy.
And I realize that the Minecraft movie isn't even about, does it have a good narrative, and does it have a plot, and does it have good character? Like, I realize that's not even the point. I realize it's just about creating an experience for the fans. And I relate to these memes. I relate to these things being referenced, and whatever. That's fine. I've said it all year long on this podcast. There is nothing to watch. So how can you blame people for going out to see something, that they at least relate to? That's fine. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it's like that's what movies have been for so long. And the fact that there's so few of them now that people feel like, oh, hey, it's something I actually want to see. It's something I actually want to engage with.
I want to be seen in public near this.
Yeah, that's more telling than Minecraft succeeding, is that nothing else is.
Mm-hmm. Well, by the way, real quick, just since this film has come out, they've now had to do theater warnings, warning people not to throw things during the theater, because now the janitors who probably get paid like $12 an hour have to do their jobs, and it's like, come on, guys, like, what are we doing here?
The thing I have to ask you guys is like, what do you want from children's entertainment? You know, we had the Rugrats movie. You go back, you watch that. Not quite that stellar. You back, like Spencer and I talked about this on Wednesday. You know, you go back, you watch the Power Rangers movie. Not really is peak cinema there, fellas. Not real great Emmy award winning acting or whatever the hell.
Unless you're talking about that hot New Zealand chick, but yeah, the rest is not.
Yeah,
You mean
well,
I've
even then,
missed, or do you mean like the newer Power Rangers movie?
any of them, like the one in the 95, 2017, any of them. The kids' movies are not meant to engage the adult mind, and that's good. That's positive. I don't want kids going and seeing Milo and Otis, okay? That fucked us up as kids, all right? That was a little too deep for a kitten and a puppy, all right? A little too deep. And so this is great. This is fine. We want kids to be engaged with this media and saying like, wow, if they can make a Minecraft movie, imagine what I could do. That's what this is meant to inspire in them. Even Jared Hess, the guy that made this, said, when we were doing this, we said, all we want to do is create chaos. That's all the goal is for this movie, is to create as much chaos that makes as much sense as possible with the story, and that's it. So they didn't even go into this trying to be like, we want to make sure that grandpa knows what's going on. They said, nope, we're going to reach into that TikTok brain and we're going to slap it around like a speed bag.
Oh, there's something I just figured out here that I thought was very interesting, but let me go back to here real quick. I'll bring that up here in a second, but
don't die.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, exactly, right. But no, like, look, it's a tough spot for entertainment here. So it's like, on one hand, I can see like the cinema snobs' reaction to this and being like, oh yeah, this is trash, this is garbage, this is not what cinema is. But then again, we've been steadily, I should say, dropping off as far as quality for quite some time. And like I said, it shouldn't be a surprise that you're looking at a film that's probably going to be the first and possibly only billion-dollar film that comes out in 2025. And that's saying a lot here. Now, obviously, it depends on how much the world still loves dinosaur movies at this point, if we're going to see what movie is going to be number 2, but I really don't see anything else topping this one. And then if this ends up being our top film of the year, it's just like, yeah, I don't know, probably we deserved it. That's all I'm going to say there.
Well, hold on. Isn't Dogman supposed to come out this year?
Dogman came out last week.
Yeah, Dogman's been out for a while.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I'm happy for these kids, though. Good for them. I'm glad they have something to latch on to when it comes to entertainment. There is nothing in the theater for kids to deal with. The most important thing to me out of this whole thing is it seems like at least movie companies are willing to listen to video game fans, or at least video game fan kids, than they are like comic book or whatever kind of other franchise there is, because Sonic the Hedgehog was had the exact same kind of reaction when it came out. Of course, that was like COVID. So everyone to go watch Sonic the Hedgehog. COVID. Super Mario Brothers did the exact same thing. Big giant opening and everything else. Kids ate that up. There's going to be a sequel. So, like, if these video game movies are actually going to like at least follow where these games like go with, not like Borderlands or any of not like the adult ones, but like the kids ones, then it's perfectly fine, I think. I remember when I was a kid, if you want to talk about a meme, when I was a kid, the biggest meme we ever had was when the Mortal Kombat movie came on. And it screamed out Mortal Kombat in the theater, and everybody in the entire theater erupted like these kids. It was awesome. That's what we were waiting for. And they gave it to us, everything we wanted. And to counter that point, if you do it wrong, I'm sure Hollywood will learn, because the Super Mario movie, the first one, started out with 2 dinosaurs going, hey, it don't get no better than this. And nobody fucking related to that, and it flopped. So, good for them.
Say, that movie set comic book films back by about a good 3 decades. So,
right. Well, so speaking of that, I do want to remind everybody we have probably the next worst thing to happen to media coming up here on a topic of bad cinema that is meant for adults.
Oh, yeah.
This one kind of threw me for a loop, because I asked myself, I said, who wanted this to start with? And then the other part was, how many vehicles is Disney going to bisect in their sci-fi properties? We're up to 8 now.
Who wants to watch this? Not even. I was born when this was coming out. I don't care about this.
Tron
Nobody
Legacy,
cares about this.
I think Tron Legacy proved that nobody wants more Tron. I mean,
as Nate Dogg once said, we're gonna whack it till the wheels fall off, and that's Disney's model right now. Is that they're gonna run all their IPs to the ground, so there's literally nothing left.
Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense because the whole thing, like I like the concept of Tron. The original movie really sucked because the visuals were really dumb, but the concept's neat because like I like the mysticism of the machine. I like that it's not like some competitor to us. I like that it's a fun little spiritual realm. So in the Legacy, the ISOs were important because they were the only ones that could make transition to being like flesh and blood. The other programs weren't able to do that. And the reason why Cora was important was that she was the last of the ISOs. That's why she was the one who rides off with Quinn's son. The problem is that now you've got this asshole and all of his friends just cruising through New York now, or wherever the hell this happens.
Neo New York, because it's kind of like Akira.
Where the fuck this is?
It's always like Akira.
Yeah.
You know,
it's Neo steampunk York, Congo, right. Miami, town.
Beijing, Illinois. Beijing, Texas. It's like some weird blend of
Neotopia.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to end up with is this weird menagerie of cyberpunk that won't compete with the Tron look because you got to make sure the Tron guys look different. So you won't have the blazing neon in the buildings, but you'll have the blazing neon on the cars, and it'll just look ridiculous. But I just don't know who asked for this. Like, who was like, I got to have like real life Tron.
It's like with Blade Runner, like 2049, when they tell you, oh, this is what Los Angeles looks like now. You go, what neighborhood? Like, Inglewood. This is what Inglewood turned into. It's like, okay, sure, whatever you say, buddy.
Yeah, Inglewood's gonna have flying cars. From what I hear, you get shot there if you have the wrong hat. So
yeah,
I bet.
Don't wear a red Phillies cap. In
it's just funny because that's where the stadium is, Inglewood. That's where the Chargers and Rams play. So it's like, what if
Clippers stadium too?
They're just looking for a reason.
Yeah. So a quick little sidebar here before we move on to our next topic. This is apparently the best part of the entire Power Rangers movie when you ignore, except for Ivan Ooze. Give Ivan Ooze a little bit of credit. He did his best to save that film. But yeah, this
man is chewing every scene he's in, man. He is gnawing on that
thing. So how do you think he got all those scale face?
That man knows it's a bad movie. He does not give a shit.
Like, I'm getting paid regardless. So let's do this.
So apparently,
you want me to hock a loogie on the set? All right.
Apparently, the chick from SVU was supposed to be that character beforehand, but then she got fired halfway during production.
Yeah, Jane Mansfield's daughter.
Yeah, wasn't she a devil worshiper?
She was
Jane
pregnant.
Mansfield? I don't know. I literally don't know.
What happened was that
what's with the Watto?
What's that?
What's with the Watto anteater in the corner?
Yeah, there's a lot of differences in the movie. Okay, that there is somewhere out there a original cut of this movie where she's in it and that thing is in it, and that this whole thing is very different. And she got pregnant and her baby bump started showing, so they were like, "Bye," and they got rid of her. And apparently they were just like, "Fuck this blue thing. We'll just put in dinosaurs' bones." They got a rodeo ride on.
James Manville was not only a member of the Church of Satan, but apparently she had a romantic relationship with Anton LaVey. So,
who didn't at this point?
So, the more you know.
And she was replaced by a New Zealand actress with pipes.
Yeah, she had very nice pipes. And on that note, we're going to move over to the UK now because there's a couple of really stupid stories coming out of Britain at the moment. This is also an older story I'm trying to circle back to, but there was this. Okay, we need to talk about white women in Netflix shows because it seems like every month there's like this new show on Netflix or new documentary on Netflix that all the white women freak out about. And the next thing you know, there's like a legitimate push for somebody in the world's legislation to be like, oh, release the Mendez brothers or we need a law regarding this. Or, hey, well, why don't we need to show this TV show to a bunch of children in the UK? That's just literally what's happening at the moment. there's a show called Adolescence, which I believe takes a lot of creative liberties with some real life stories that took place in the UK. And basically, they told a story where this white kid who's been inspired by people like Andrew Tate and other people in the manosphere had become radicalized because he's a 13-year-old incel. And somebody brought up a great point. I think it might have been Jason Whitlock brought up a great point. It's like, you're calling him an incel. He's 13. Like he
he's not actively
be
having sex
exactly,
because he's 13.
Exactly. Like,
like all right.
That just proved. By the way, that just proved that the teachers are have a little bit of an alternate dimension here. You know,
mm-hmm.
Keir Starmer, the prime minister of the country, the leader, has come out and said that this needs to be showed in schools.
Oh, right? Yeah. So see, here's this whole video. Here's the prime minister. So this is why it's been making the rounds, is because the UK has come out and they're now showing it for free to all people in secondary schools in the UK. So now
it's not mandated. It's just available for free.
So they're not for. I was under the assumption that they were forced. Hold on, let me see this right here. It says that
the conversation is that it will be mandated at some point, but for now, it has simply been bought up. I guess the rights to have it in a library.
I just so it says here. Hold on, just real quick. It says here that today we are making Adolescence available to all secondary schools in the UK through Film Plus. Additionally, Healthy Relationships charity Tinder will produce guides and resources for teachers, parents, and careers to navigate conversations around the series.
So, do you guys? I did a little bit more digging on this show than most people have on it. I didn't watch it because I'm screwed that. I'm wasting my time. Netflix shows. I haven't had a Netflix subscription since Cuties. I canceled it then. So anyway, back at the plot, whatever. What happens in Adolescence is that, in fact, this young boy has a crush on a girl. And this young boy approaches this girl and he is ridiculed for doing this. And publicly so. They go on Instagram and they let him have it for him trying to flirt with her and let her know about his interest. And so he seeks out Andrew Tate type as like some type of like spiritual guide, I guess, of how to deal with ornery women. The twist that nobody wants to talk about. I don't think Keir Starmer knows this. I don't think most people have watched it the whole way through. They just see white boy being in trouble and they say, yes, we need to show this to everybody. This is one of those Barbie movies that's got a hook to it. The kid is tortured by these girls. Like not physically, but he is mentally. Everywhere he goes, these girls are making fun of him. They're the ones that call him an incel. They're the ones that call him all these different derogatory and humiliating names. They're pushing him around, and then she shoves him to the ground, the girl that he attacks. She shoves him to the ground. He loses his temper, pulls a knife, and stabs her to death. Now, I don't think they know what's in this show because that basically shows a young boy being cyberbullied into violent activity. The last of the episode is the father saying, I don't know how this happened, which basically underscores. By the way, throughout the whole show, before and after the attack, all of the adults, their only defining quality is that they hate their career and they hate where they found themselves in life.
Yeah.
So this kid is being shown as being failed by everybody along the way.
But see, but that's not the conclusion that they want you to come to. The conclusion they want you to come to is that had this kid had not listened to Andrew Tate and not listened to the manager, had this person had not listened to Pearl, that he would have stabbed that girl several times. And because this kid in the TV show version is white, we need to then show this to other white kids to see this is how you're not supposed to end up. Now, like I said, the real life version of events here that this happened to a black kid in the UK who stabbed up some white girl that when what was this, like several years ago or a couple years ago, because this is what the show was actually based off of. So of course they took they took their creative liberty, and of course it's Netflix, so it's like the only time they actually race swap a character to be white is when it's in the context of something bad. So that's exactly what they did here. So
it was a composite, actually. It was a couple cases that was they got the story from. And I will say this, when this show premiered, the week it premiered, when people were starting to talk about it, I didn't watch it. I basically picked up pieces of what it was about, but I was hearing that it's about this white kid who, stabs a girl, and it's due to sort of being listening to like Andrew Tate or being inspired by Andrew Tate or whatever, and seeing what it was, and it was like, oh, this is a propaganda piece, isn't it? This is so. I mean, and look, London, or excuse me, the UK has their issues. Obviously, it's not with guns, but they certainly have their issues with, whether you want to, it's immigrants, migrants, whatever. But there's just this violent incident rate among certain communities, and it's like, but you're taking the time to make it about a white kid. And it's like, it's fine, like whatever, like the story can stand on its own if it's well told. I haven't seen it, but like looking at all the, and Stephen Graham, the creator of it, like good actor, whatever, but it seems like they're saying that, oh, well, if we don't talk to our young men, if we don't talk to our kids about the right way to treat women, it's like, how do you not talk to your kids about how you're supposed to treat others? Like, why is this a concern for you? Why would this be something that needs to be taught in schools? And so seeing it blow up, but jumping on it early, and it's just like, this is insane. Like you're saying that this drama, this fictional TV show, piece of entertainment needs to be studied. I mean, that almost backs up what I was saying at the first, that it feels like propaganda. So again, it's just, I agree where they do this, where they'll set up the story to be, oh, it's really about, him, stabbing these girls and being inspired. But it's like, okay, but you also have all this other stuff that helped bring about this situation that you're not even addressing. So I don't know. Maybe this is why film criticism in general, and I know this is a miniseries or TV show, maybe this is why film criticism has died, where it's like there was this memo like, oh yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not actually going to talk about the themes that are present here that are more complex and nuanced. We're going to just reduce things down to their lowest common denominator and, try to divide people through it,
Mm-hmm. Well, let me play this video here. This is something that comes directly from the UK Prime Minister's official Twitter account. So this was their reaction to the Netflix series. So everything you're going to see here is basically state-based from the UK perspective. Understand the UK, Europe doesn't have a Bill of Rights. So all the things that you're luxury to here in the United States do not exist over there.
Whenever someone important from the UK starts talking, I think of the Wallace and Gromit theme when they're talking.
Nice to see you. How are you? Good to see you again.
Thank you for having us.
No, very good. You know what it's like on the inside. Most people don't. They sort of think it's going to be small, and then it's always much bigger. But come on in. Come on in.
To it.
Come on in.
Come out.
Yeah. It's just like so this is The Office, huh?
No, it's great.
Yep.
Come on in.
The original version?
There's like 4 reporters behind them, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there.
There's his handler over there.
Famous, just behind the door. We've got the portrait of the Queen here.
Oh, yeah.
The Queen.
Murdering people. White people stabbing people in the schoolyard.
You see the Freemason floorboards over there? You're seeing all the references 5 seconds into the video.
Don't tell Douglas Murray, or otherwise you're noticing too much.
Yep.
Andrew Tate influenced the stabbing,
which we can't legally claim, or else he can sue us. Yeah, who's making your communities not safe there, UK? Do you happen to have anyone who fits that profile?
My favorite part is how they run an instrumental and then they post quotes. So it's like, well, we'll just have some asshole read them.
He can't
like,
even.
What the fuck?
He's not even. He's actually saying this out loud, but someone's writing it down for him. So he can't even record his own fucking real words.
Well, what is David Attenborough doing right now? Just have him say this dumb shit.
As a father watching his show with my teenage son and daughter, I can tell you it hit home hard.
Someone blew up an Ariana Grande concert, and it wasn't a white guy.
If we had any guts, we'd have guns.
That's the next Netflix original about this stuff. Is it'll be a white kid that blew up.
We're gonna hero up Elliot Rodger.
He was inspired by Trump.
Yeah. He was inspired by Nigel Farage and his bigotry.
Nigel Farage, that's right. That fruity fuck. Yeah.
Mr. Bean looking mother.
He was watching Sargon of the Cat videos in 2017 and just let his life
Sargon radicalized me.
He was watching V videos. Everybody is another mother.
Yes, the man who dresses like an Arby's waiter. That man radicalized me.
And then he's like taught his dog like how to put Count Dankula on repeat over and over again. Oh no! Hello!
That's right. That's right. Count Dankula made me do what I did. I can't wait for that one.
It's all his fault.
I'm waiting for the next code to be, all right, get that fucking mic out of my face. I'll put you right in the camera, I will. You know, that's the quote.
I'm gonna get you, motherfucker.
You know where you're going? Perfect. Great.
Hey, you know the exit is, right? Get out of here. Go.
Hold on, I've got to have a pinch of scotch here.
Where'd the scotch come from? What? He has his own booze laid out for him?
It's a Churchill tradition.
Churchill just lives. This
is such a poorly produced piece of propaganda here. Like trying to make it seem like they're actually having a legitimate conversation as they're walking into the halls, and so all of a sudden they just disappear. It's like, oh, they're still focused on me, eh?
They like flash step. They like did the DBZ thing. They just went just flew away like DBZ characters.
Oh man!
And he goes over and he takes a sip of water. Like what? What are you? What? Everything that happens on camera happens for a reason. That camera followed that man over there. It wasn't like, whoop, 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 he's moving. It wasn't like a WWE thing, but they're chasing after these guys where they're making it up on the fly sometimes.
Yeah,
they deliberately put that glass there, and they said, Kier, we need you to drink out of that so people know that you're not a filthy lizard man.
Meanwhile, when all the lights are turned off, Churchill and Enoch Powell over there are just wondering what the hell happened to their country.
Yeah, right?
Morning.
Why is Hugh?
He looks like Ellen DeGeneres if he actually like transitioned into a man.
Made it all the way. That's the final form of Ellen Page.
Why is Hugh Grant England's greatest president?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, I love Love Actually.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. There was a period in my life where I did kind of somewhat respect the UK. I mean, I stick to myself. Yeah, exactly right. And now it's like, oh god, like
Morning.
That ended after that third Oasis
Thank you very
album.
much for being here. In a minute, we're going to bring the media in, but before we do, I just wanted to...
The media. The people that aren't running the camera, that are in your face right now. Those people.
I'm gonna pull a JJ the Boss from Street Outlaws here. I guarantee you that chick on the left right there, $500. She likes to be tied up on closed doors. I'm just throwing it out there. But that's a whole that was two references in one. Let's see how many you guys get.
Whoa.
But yeah, so there was a little bit of a response here regarding this whole thing, regarding whether this was anti-white propaganda. This actually made the Hollywood Reporter, the co-creator, responded to this because I think it was like Elon Musk made a tweet or liked a tweet regarding this one. So of course, when Elon Musk comments on something, it becomes news because that's just the way our world works now. But the original post, I guess, came from Ian Miles Chong, everyone's favorite ex-user. Everyone likes that guy. The British knife killer who stabbed the girl to death on the bus was based on real cases such as the Southport murderer here. And the post says that, they race swapped the actual killer from a black migrant to a white boy. And the story has become so radicalized online by the red pill community. It's just an absolute state of anti-white propaganda. And then Elon Musk responded, wow. And because Elon Musk responded, wow, the Hollywood Reporter has made a story about this, and they asked the guy who's involved with this whole thing. It was asked about was it host John Seppel? I don't know who that guy is. About the conspiracy theory that this was why was the portrayal of the white boy who commits the crime, and it's mostly black kids who commit knife crimes in the country. Thorne asked by Stephen Graham, who I guess is big in the UK, what he felt about this, and they said they claim that it was based on the story and another story that we race swapped it because we're basing it on here. But it ended up nothing else is nothing is further from the truth. I told a lot of real life stories in my life. I know the harm that that can come when you take elements of real life story, put it on screen when the people aren't expecting it. There's no part of this, and that is not based on a true story, not one single part. So he's basically saying here that, look, nothing about this story is based on any real life situations here. And it's like, okay, if that is the case, then why are we essentially, not so mandating kids in the UK to watch this series and discuss this series if you're admitting by your own volition that this is complete and utter fiction? So what conversation do we need to have here then, if that's the truth?
I mean,
you can just go around and say like, "Hey guys, it's just a TV show. Like, it's just a story. Like, calm down. That's all it is."
To put this into perspective, it would be like if they came out and said Men in Black is something you have to watch in school now in order to better understand the culture of aliens.
Yeah.
But what prompts this? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on in the UK where this is even a concern, or you can relate it to a problem? It comes down to in whatever. I hate reducing things, and I don't know I don't know enough to make this jump, but it's like you have a higher crime rate, the higher the poverty rate is, the high, the lack of resources that you have. And that's true in America. I'm sure it's true in the UK, and that bears itself out in who is committing these crimes. But the idea that you have white kids running around because Andrew Tate inspired them to stab girls is like just asinine.
By the way, I just want to point this out here. Notice the sleight of hand here in this whole thing, because in order to tone down exactly what they're doing here, they had to find an argument that they can easily debunk while telling you exactly what they were doing here. Because the last quote here says this: "We're not making a point about race with this. We're making a point about masculinity. So it's not race that's the problem. It's men that's the problem." That's the point that we're trying to sell to you guys. It's like, oh, okay, so it's not anti-white propaganda. It's anti-male propaganda. That would be the more correct statement by your own volition there, right?
That way, all races can be involved and be inflicted by the.
And like you said, Cider, it's a story about a guy being I guess technically cyberbullying, but essentially being bullied to death by a bunch of women. Yet in their mind, it's the guy who's the problem.
Correct, because in this scenario, this guy reacted poorly to a woman rejecting him. They don't see a problem in haranguing a man for going outside of what they considered boundaries. Now, the reason they want this shown to young men is because what they're telling these guys is that you have to take this. You have to not stab these girls, confront them, try to correct your ego. You cannot redeem yourself. Once you cross the threshold into expressing yourself to a lady that did not want you to express yourself to her, you might as well move out of the country, change your name, potentially get plastic surgery so no one recognizes you, because it's over. It's over. And that's the thing, is that like that's what this movie is telling young women, is that like when young men don't respond like positively to being run up and down like on blast for saying, "Hey babe, I like your boobs." He's 13. What is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to like write to this girl like, "I want to marry you, and here's all like I'm gonna have a Lamborghini by the time I'm 14. This is my growth projection ratio." Like, what is he supposed to do? He just literally expresses to this girl, and she goes out onto Instagram and gives him shit for it. Her friends join in. It's the usual thing that happens to a guy that I would say just decide, the girls either decided to put up on blast and people thought what he said was funny, so it spread around and spread around and spread around. So this guy didn't respond well to that. And that's why they want little boys to see it, is they want to tell little boys, you can't defend yourself. You're going to be a murderer. If you don't respond positively to having your identity destroyed, you will become a murderer. Andrew Tate will teach you how to stab people.
Yep. So don't be an incel. So this is the thing, because then if a guy like Andrew Tate, who's the subject of this whole situation, goes around, does a video saying that, hey, look, that Netflix show, this is exactly what they're trying to teach you over there. They'll say, oh, Andrew Tate now is the problem because he's basically telling them exactly what we're doing He's supposed to be basically. He's not giving them the spin of no. We're just trying to talk about masculinity. We're not trying to actually attack people or brainwash people when that's literally exactly what they're doing.
Right.
Like they don't like being called out for precisely what's happening here. But I will say this though, and this will kind of lead us into our next topic here. Perhaps they have a point. Perhaps the people of Adolescence actually have a point about the problematic behavior of men, because Mickey Rourke just got kicked out of the Celebrity Big Brother house in the UK for basically harassing JoJo Siwa and calling her a fag on television.
He did nothing wrong. Okay, Mickey Rourke did nothing wrong.
Sack of fags.
He called her a cigarette?
From a sim.
So,
that's a cigarette, man.
Especially in okay, so let me unpack this from you, because I found out about this story a couple of days ago and it's just hilariously stupid. So Celebrity Big Brother in the UK, Big Brother is a big deal. Like I know it's kind of a big deal here in the United States, but it's even a bigger deal out there in the UK. It's basically a popularity contest and it's been like that for years. It's brain rot. I'll just say it to the best. It is absolute brain rot. As someone who used to watch the show about 19 years ago, it's complete brain rot. However, they have a celebrity version of this where every washed up celebrity who they can pay to come on the show will be on the house for like 30 days and try to create some drama that gets people interested in the show. In this version, they have Mickey Rourke, 72-year-old former Oscar winner. Didn't he win that year, or did he lose that year? He lost that year, didn't he?
No, he never won an Oscar. He was nominated.
So he was nominated. So former Academy nominated actor Mickey Rourke is in this house with JoJo, what's her name, Swasha, who was like a big children's star a handful of years ago. Then she started doing like this weirdo lesbian satanic gimmick for a while. Then no one bought into it because they just called her weird. But they put her and a few other questionable celebrities in a house together, and he basically got himself thrown out within a week. Because you put a 72-year-old man who clearly doesn't give a shit at this point in his life versus someone who's kind of the epitome of, the modern audience. And you wonder why things didn't go very well. So here's the incident that essentially led to him being thrown off of the show. This is just a little conversation that they were having, and it turned sour.
Yeah. We all vote each other out?
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually. I'm going to vote the lesbian out real quick.
JoJo. I have his hair.
That's homophobic. So that's homophobic if that was your reasoning.
Have you got anyone you want to vote out? Well, no, we actually can't discuss this. No, we can't discuss this. This is undiscussable.
The lesbian I'm going to vote out.
No, you can't do that, Mickey.
You also can't say that.
No, we can't.
Which JoJo's real? JoJo, right?
Yeah, JoJo.
JoJo.
Lovely lady.
Yeah. Is she?
Lovely girl, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't believe her real name was JoJo.
She's a good lad.
Appreciate ya.
She's what I call some woman.
I need a fag. Not talking to you. I need a fag.
Mickey, you can't say that, Mickey.
He's trying not to laugh.
He's 72 years old.
Right.
You're on your own. The last time he was in England, Hitler was threatening to come. Come on.
Mickey Rourke told producers and Hollywood executives to go fuck themselves back in the 1980s and lost out on multiple roles for doing so. Do you think that he's going to give a shit? You know what I mean? It's like,
Mickey Rourke has a reputation for literally not caring what anyone thinks about him. And it's like, you brought him on. First of all, he has nothing, guys. You brought him on here to cause drama to get ratings. Right. He did exactly that, and now you guys are whining. It's like, what did you? It almost goes back to like the Bill Burr joke. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, did you think he was going to have some progressive ideals stuck in that 72-year-old I don't give a shit frame? Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Oh, no, you're right. Lesbians are real chill, bro. I think I'll vote out shirtless guy next to me. I hate your slippers.
Right, that's the thing. He was calling her a lesbian the whole time. Like, apparently it's not that big of a deal. It's just that he said the word fag, and I guess, a shirtless man fucking got offended.
But here's the thing, though. Like, he's old enough to understand that fag in the UK is also a slang for cigarette. So he was playing on words as he was saying that. But her being a dumb millennial from America probably has no concept of that whatsoever. So she just heard the word fag and had another. It gets worse. I mean, it does get worse. Here's the rest of it.
You can't say that, Mickey.
I know, but I was talking about a cigarette.
I know you. I know. Yeah, I know.
See you boys in a
See you in a bit, mate.
Yeah.
Hope you find that cigarette.
Yeah, me too.
He's just from a different planet, bless him.
Yeah, he doesn't live in 2025 like the rest of us, right, guys? High five. High five.
We're the cool people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all enlightened.
This is Big Brother. Would Mickey come to the diary room?
So they literally reprimanded him immediately just for saying the word fag. Apparently, you can't even say the word fag in context. They didn't actually call anyone that where he just said.
Why do people live in England anymore? Why do they live there? Why do people live there? I don't understand.
Man.
I don't know.
Maybe soccer or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Shit show.
It can't be this shit.
It's crazy.
Not the food
that still exists.
Everyone keeps, it's old-fashioned, blah, blah. You can't justify it because it's not right. You can't try and justify things which just aren't right. There's no point us sitting here and going, it's like if it's someone's age. It's so like that's not a thing anymore.
But what I felt when you were over there was like you had my back. And to be honest, we've known each other less than 24 hours. You have no reason to have my back.
Because it's right and wrong, though, isn't
it? It's between right and wrong, and that meant a lot. So
I think Mickey should have said, I hate her voice.
Yeah.
It's right. And
I just hate her voice. I don't want to hear it anymore, so I'm going to vote her out because I just hate the sound of her voice.
Then again, there could be also another thing aligned with this, too, just being like, I don't really want to be here, so what's the fastest way I can get out of this? Oh, I'm going to target the only lesbian in this house and just throw, like, slurs at her, and hopefully they'll kick me off the show so I can get out of this whole thing.
No, he got there. He got there and he was like, "Oh shit, there's cameras everywhere, even the bedrooms. So you can't like fucking private. Can you like fuck in the closet? No, there's cameras in there. I want out of here, man. I don't. I thought we were gonna be doing some shit, not just sitting around sharing our feelings. I'm out of here, you know." That's probably what happened.
This is a real drag.
Yeah, get me out of here.
Wait. Getting upset, aren't you? Have a little cry. No crying.
Have a little cry. It's okay.
Well, welcome in.
Top 10 most awkward hugs.
She does have an awful voice, though.
Oh, he said fag.
Clean t-shirt.
Like she's a Vietnam veteran.
Correction, she's not a millennial. She's 21 years old. I thought she was a little bit older. But
well,
she kind of looks like Mickey Rourke a little bit.
So Mickey Rourke got kicked out of the house. Basically said that he agreed to leave Celebrity Big Brother following further use of inappropriate language and unacceptable behavior, according to the executives in the UK. So Mickey Rourke has agreed to leave Celebrity Big Brother following his use of offensive language. Variety has confirmed. It basically says here that his exit from Big Brother stems from a disagreement with the Sin City actor and his housemate Chris during a task. No physical altercation took place, but Rourke used language that was considered threatening and aggressive. It's a 72-year-old man. Like, I'm pretty sure this guy in the house is at least
threatening,
40 years younger than him. Yeah. Earlier this week, he received a warning coming towards a fellow contestant, JoJo Siwa, whatever her name is, said that he was going to vote the lesbian out real quick. They said that's homophobic. Well, we saw the whole context of this thing. Rourke was then reprimanded when the confessional, when Big Show told that he would be removed from the house if his behavior consisted. And I probably just would have said it again right there at that moment. I'd be like,
I thought being a fag.
Exactly. It's like, okay, man, no need to be a fag about it. But it says, I apologize. I don't have any dishonorable intentions. I was just talking smack, I wasn't taking it serious, and I didn't mean any bad intentions. If I did, sorry.
Taking it serious.
Stop being a fag and stop taking it seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who takes things seriously? Fags.
All housemates received respect and inclusion training. Oh, God. An extensive briefing from the Big Brother senior team to prepare for living in the house. And housemates are monitored 24 hours a day in instances where inappropriate behavior is dealt with appropriately and timely. Well, it sounds like your show sucks. So, yeah, that's what happened there. So, Cider, I guess we'll start with you. What's your thoughts on Mickey Rourke getting himself kicked out of the house?
This was the sensitivity training that they put them through right here.
Yeah.
I have it right here. I'm sharing it.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Edge. Have you ever been on an edging streak? Edge.
Edge.
Do they keep you in a state of edging? Edge.
Edge.
When you're not performing your edging, do they make you goon? Edge.
Edge.
Riz.
Riz.
What's it like to hold the yacht of someone you love? Riz.
Riz.
Did they teach you how to feel?
Riz.
Sigma to Sigma. Riz.
Riz.
Do you long for having your heart rizzed? Riz.
Riz.
Do you dream about being rizzed?
Riz. Is that in the Minecraft movie too?
Blade Runner 2049.
But yeah, that's,
which episode?
The thing is that you're going to end up running into more and more of this as we go along, because the Zoomers and the Alphas have even harder break with reality than the Millennials do. They have the compounded delusion of the Gen X and the Millennials as their like informative, reality for them, as their false reality. And so the whole concept that someone wouldn't obey their speech laws throws them into a complete tailspin. And this is only going to get worse as they assume more power. So here we go. This is really the first line of it. You're going to see this guy, more people like this taken out because of their attitude. Pretty soon it's going to be, you looked at the gay guy too long in the way that he didn't like, so you got to leave now.
Like I said, for Mickey, he might want to, get out of there quickly as possible because, you can be brought up on charges for offensive language in the UK. It's not like the US where it's just like, hey, he has freedom of speech. It's like, you don't have freedom of speech in the UK. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll just say this with the DEI training that I went through working for the state of Washington, back in like 20, and this is like, I think it was prior to, no, it wasn't. It was 2018. So it was during the Trump administration. But, my governor was super, Trump hating, left wing idiot. So they implemented these DEI things. And the thing that infuriated me the most was they actually taught this, that the golden rule was not good enough anymore. There was this new thing called the platinum rule, where you had to basically assume someone's
even though gold's worth more than platinum.
I mean, what? Yeah, I don't. No. I know it's just like whatever. But you had to assume someone's background and the experiences they had been through, and basically make excuses for them if they were late, or if they had an outburst, or they had this surge of emotion, or they it's like what? That sounds fucking crazy. And it's funny because like I was the millennial kind of being like, this is insane. Like this is like you're guessing what someone's experiences are. You have to be a mind reader now. It's not enough that we all have to meet the same standard. It's, oh, well, people of different backgrounds have different expectations and different cultural value. And it's just like, you're just making excuses for bad behavior, And so at the end of the day, it's like, look, I know Mickey Rourke is not, he's rough around the edges. But that's what people like about him. They like that he doesn't pull punches, that he is himself, regardless of who you are, what background you have, what culture you're from, what your demographic is. He's just going to be who he is. And he does, like I said, he doesn't pull any punches. Now, I personally think they brought him on to have this kind of conflict where it's like, there's this overly sensitive attitude going around where it's like, okay, you don't want to accept somebody because they use language that hurts your feelings. I mean, again, it's like you're the one with the problem. He is simply being himself. Now, I get it. You said something that was potentially insensitive, but like, let it play out. Let this have some discourse. Let's have some discussion. Let's hear from Mickey Rourke. Like, why would he say something like that? Have him explain, like, hey, this is where I come from. This is what I mean by that. Or even, oh, I was just trying to get under your skin. This is a competition after all. You know what I mean? Like, have some discourse that comes out of this. Instead, it's just, oh, we're going to mock and shame this person who is so obviously out of touch with our projected, social values that we can't even discuss having him continue being in the house. You know what I mean? It's like you're this Victorian era woman clutching her pearls. So again, I would agree with Cider that I think this is something that's probably going to continue. The more whatever, because to me, millennials brought this shit about, which is hilarious. Cause like, I'm sorry. The reason that I'm so bitter about all of this is basically because, I went through high school, like being called every name in the book, gay F slur, whatever. And it's like, then after that, millennials wanted to pretend that they were progressive or that they had some insight. You know what I mean? It was just a joke.
It's a different world. The problem is that it really wasn't so much us. We're the product of the guilt of the boomers. The boomers came up with like this sense that they had to correct the mistakes of their parents, and they looked back and they said, well, that civil rights thing was pretty sketchy, and well, that social order thing and those PSAs that told you not to touch yourself, those were pretty bad. So we're just going to 180 that completely and then expect no repercussions whatsoever from any of that. And yeah, that's what gave birth to millennials. The end of the Gen Xers too, because they were just pissed off at their parents. So they were going to do whatever their parents did, but the opposite. And ta-da, you ended up with the Zoomers and the Alphas who are just so up their own asses because that's all that was ever shown to them is a thing you should do with yourself. All of their heroes are streamers.
This is the generation that's grown up on the last, 10, 15, 20 years of, hey, that's offensive. You can't say that. You can't say, you're not allowed to say that. And then this is where we end up. And then some people are surprised somehow that this is where we are, as if this was not the inevitable path of what we've been doing to ourselves in a society for so many years, right?
But
Who
it doesn't
really
make any
wanted
sense.
Mickey Rourke on there, though? Really?
Yeah,
he is an American hero.
Yeah,
what were we saying, Rob?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense because like I grew up when like social conservatives were like the main, at least I felt that way growing up as a kid in the 90s, that they kind of were pushing a lot of these things of like censorship or you can't say that very same mentality. And now it's not social conservatives that are saying this. It's like young people who are supposed to understand what it is to rebel and go against the grain and go against the status quo. And if you just want to belong to one big blob of a collective that, you know what I mean, where you can't think for yourself, you can't stand out in any way. And I've said it a million times. It's not about being a haystack. It's about being a needle in a haystack. You want to stand out. You don't want to fit in.
And the thing is that and I touched a little bit about this weeks ago. It's like they were rebelling at a time period where they didn't have the power that they desired, that they currently enjoy now. And now that they have that power, it's not like they're still rebelling against what they were rebelling against 30, 40 years ago. It's like, no, we're in control now. So you conform to us. And now basically it's like I said, these people who are all about rebellion and counterculture, now they are the culture and they don't want to oppose them. It's almost as if the whole thing was a con to begin with. But yeah, I mean, look, like I said, my honest opinion about this whole thing is that Celebrity Big Brother is a dumpster fire. They had canceled it a number of years ago because people figured out it was fake and the whole thing was rigged, which kind of hurt the show just a little bit. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But they decided, you know what? Let's just bring it all back. Let's just do it all over again. And then, of course, this is how we end up getting what we got here with this whole show. But it's like I was sitting there watching this week, thinking to myself, it's Mickey Rourke and like the girl who wasn't talented enough to be the new Miley Cyrus, and they're in Celebrity Big Brothers. Like that's when you know your career's dead. Like I'm sorry, like when you're on Celebrity Big Brother overseas, like that's how you know it's over. Like you're gonna use whatever power your name has left to get paid like per appearance. Like you'll be the Danny Bonaducci of 2025, and that's pretty much how it's gonna ride out until you pass away. Like that's where you're at now.
I'm just going to say that Ricky Rourke is a great American hero. And if these kids want to not kill, like want to stab each other in England, they should do what we did back here. And I hate to toot the horn of the millennials or at Gen Y or whatever we call ourselves now. But when I was growing up, I had the famous cartoons of the day tell me not to smoke, drink, or do drugs. And I didn't have a cigarette my entire life. So if Michelangelo and Garfield and Alf got together and told these kids not to stab each other, maybe England might shape up and ship out.
That's relevant to our conversation here. Who remembers this oldie but goodie?
This is my opinion of England.
Yeah, right.
For your information, England is a fag country. What? Say.
all I can say is that it's rang true here several years later. I mean, it's not like you guys proved them wrong over the course of decades. So, hey, maybe that's your fault, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Yep. Any final topics? I mean, any final thoughts on this one before we jump over to our next topic here? This is going to be kind of a short little recap of things that we've talked about here on multiple episodes now, and I feel like I keep bringing it up because it's just to a certain point. I just go at some point, you can't say that you weren't warned. You just didn't listen. And Lady Gaga did a performance last night at Coachella. Look, I don't care about Coachella at this point. Even when I was in California, people were like, "Oh, Coachella." It's like, okay, I get it. A bunch of influencers and druggies are going to go out there and do ecstasy, listening to bad music for 3 days. Like, I get it, but I don't care. The whole point of thing. But Lady Gaga did this performance, and it just kind of goes into the parallel of like multiple stories that we've talked about regarding her and her allegiances over the course of the last several months now. And it just keeps like it's a recurring thing time after time after time after time after time again. And it just gets to a certain point where me and Cider had a short conversation about this before we went live here. It's just like, I don't think that the people genuinely still think that this is all a work or that, it's just one big like rib. I just don't think they care anymore. I think they know and they just genuinely don't care. And like I said, there's going to be. Here's the thing. I think that we've been spoiled and brainwashed by movies in the sense that we always think that there's going to be this one moment towards the end of the movie where the truth finally gets revealed and everyone figures out and there's this great awakening and everyone goes, "Oh, those sons of bitches lied to us. I can't believe that they did it." And everyone turns the corner and then like the movie ends happily ever after. And then you realize, wait, that was a movie. That's not how it works in real life. Some people are just going to go down with the ship. And that's probably the best thing that I can say about this whole situation at this point. Look, if you guys have seen several episodes now about this woman and her actions over the last few weeks here, some that we've gotten into great arguments about here recently, I shouldn't have to say it anymore. You should be able to see exactly what's going on here at this point. So I got nothing more to say. I'm at the point now where I just got nothing more to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot this one over to you, there, Cider. What's your thoughts about Lady Gaga's Coachella performance?
So there's a video on the internet, deep dark web of the internet, where Hillary Clinton and Abedin are abusing a child, killing the child, and feasting upon what's left of that scene. Mm-hmm. This is not very far away from it. This is not very far away from how that looks. So, yeah, granted, they're not all dressed up. There's not a lot of like coordinated, but this particular shit right here is incredibly reminiscent of it. Not the camera movement, just generally how she's posed with that powerful light. And it is, when Jacob first linked this to me earlier, I was like, "The fuck! It leaked. It's on Twitter now." And no, it is really, it's that close. That's the problem. It's that close that you really can't tell that isn't the ceremony that happens in that video.
Because people still think that this is a joke. Like, they don't understand that, no, there are real rituals out there that people like this perform. And when you're seeing this is not entertainment for your sake. They're showing you exactly who they are. And it's the point that at some point it's going to have to click with you guys. And I don't know how far we're going to have to get till it clicks. It's like, this is kind of like the PG-13 version of, hey, this is real. Do you really want to see the NC-17 version? Like, is it going to take the NC-17 version at this? Because at some point, I just figured that even if we ever did get to that point where that thing became public, I would go, they probably would still root for it at this point.
It'll take these people coming out and saying they're sorry for doing it. That's what it'll take. Because until that point, it'll always be a deniability that was made up. That's something that Joe Rogan had on his podcast, and that's where you heard of that. And that's where that comes. That's always where it's going to be. They're going to default back to that's a conspiracy thing. Until Lady Gaga comes out and says, yes, I did base the opening of that frame by frame from the Frazzle Drip video, then, there's going to be there's going to be the same people that want to come out and be like, oh, that's art. That's just artistic expression. You don't get mad when there's a whole bunch of angel stuff on the screen. You only get mad when it's Satan, and that shows your bias.
Don't you respect opera?
Yeah, right. And then, by the way, this is a guy who you guys know on Instagram has done a lot of these type of videos. He's pretty much circled back to a lot of things that we've gone over here over the course of here, and he even went as far to actually remember the whole SNL skit where they were doing the whole thing, and people were saying that it wasn't real. They're just mocking you and the Christians, and the guy found out that no, those are actually the names of like real demons from pagan mythology. So it's like it actually turns out it wasn't fake. That there's some legitimacy to it, and everyone, like I said, just keeps turning the old blind eye to stuff that's like right in the face, not just go, "Yep, someday."
Well, the most easiest thing Satan ever did for everybody is to convince everybody that he never existed. And now apparently the easiest thing for Satan to do is realize, hey, I exist, but nobody gives a damn. So it's
there's a part of me, and I know that this will be frowned upon, but it just get to a point where I feel like one of these days people are gonna be like, wait, this was real, and then I just imagining like Christ rolling up a newspaper and smacking them in the back of the head, just be like, of course it was.
The thief in the night. Exactly. If you ever watched, there's an old movie called The Thief in the Night, and it's an old story, and it's basically the Rapture, right? But in 1975, so it's really boring. But everybody just walks for 15 minutes. Everyone's walking around going, "What happened to everybody? What happened? How did this happen? Where did this go? Where did they go?" It's like,
you know what? And I didn't think about this until what's his name just said it. Bernard Rad just said it here too. But we're always talking about AI, and there was a video that I posted earlier this week. I think you guys may have seen it. I'm not sure you saw it, where it was like Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, and they're like driving around shooting things like a pink Cadillac or something like that. You can tell it's clearly AI, right? You can tell pretty obviously. But we always think to ourselves, it's like, oh man, I can't wait. What kind of deception is going to be out there? Come with AI, they're going to convince you that Trump did something or said something he didn't actually do, or didn't actually say. It's like, what if we're looking at this from the wrong perspective? What if we do get to a point where some of those videos we were mentioning earlier does come out and leak, and their excuse for that is going to be like, oh, it's AI. Oh, it's not really them, it's AI, bro. You know how realistic AI is?
It's all fake.
In 2025, it's totally fake.
Don't you know how deep fakes work?
Mm-hmm.
So there's two parts to that. One, you assume that's not already how it's done. And two, the other thing is that this is why everybody's getting access to this very powerful AI that can convince you that Donald Trump and world leaders are doing things that otherwise they would not be doing. And in such fantastic fashion that it might actually look like they're doing things. Let's say they weren't running around shooting people. Let's say they were walking around and you laid over the like hot mic audio of them discussing the assassination attempt of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that's not so like crazy, haha, funny anymore. That's like, wait a minute, what? You circulate that on 4chan. Don't post it on Twitter. Go to 4chan and put that on there. Then you're totally anonymous. Then ta-da! Leave it to there. Let them go with it. A week later, they're opening up an inquiry. See, this is the problem that they're going to force through. Is the AI is really fun. I play with it every day. I work with it. I have part of my job is to deal with it. One of my other jobs is totally to deal with it. And so the AI is eventually going to run into a place where you have to have a fingerprint, where all AI generated images will have to have a visual fingerprint on them.
Right.
So that you no matter what you want to do, you can't cover it up. It's going to have to be there. And that's going to be the thing, is that you're reaching a point now where today you can create a fake anime of President Trump in the Ghibli style. And it's like 9/10 believable that somebody sat down and animated it.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're only just a little bit away from making like full-length movies out of AI. Somebody tried to do it already and it looks awful. But we're only a little bit away from making full-length movies. So why would we not be able to fake stuff where we're inventing horrible scenarios where celebrities and public figures are dismantling children in these AI? Well, of course, the Chinese would generate these things in order to destabilize the trust and cohesive nature of the West, you see? And that's what the whole excuse is going to be. That's why we're getting access to this stuff, guys, is so you can rationalize what you're about to be exposed to when that Epstein list continues to trickle out. The evidence behind it gets out.
NWO Wolfpack 2. I mean, we're not complete hypocrites, but we're just saying.
Darth Maul, like that was a great color scheme.
It is associated.
Right.
Well, no. I'll tell you why you can tell it's AI, because her boobs are flat.
Yeah.
Where
and they
it's not
digitally
AI.
removed her penis.
Well, that's just it. Is that like
Right.
you can tell AI when someone looks good. Now that you see like real people, you're like, oh god, they're so disgusting and
Ugh.
oily and bumpy. And like like that's what happens. I work with AI every single day. Okay, every single day I work with it, so I see like what it generates for people. And you go out and you look at real people, and you're like, oh my god. It's like one of those hyper detailed Mr. Krabs pictures from SpongeBob when you see a real person, like ah.
Why are there so many bumps on your face?
Why aren't you robotically smooth?
I do have to give a quick little shout out to Spencer Smith, the guy we follow for a lot of Bible content. He says all of these Taylor Swift concerts out there, some of you guys are still post millennial, and I know for a non-believer that goes completely over your head, but for a believer, you get it. It makes perfect sense. That's all I'll say there. So yeah, I mean, I got nothing else to add to that whole thing. Like I said, people are going to have to wake up one way or another, or else you're going to go down with the ship. So that's all I got to say.
Speaking of ugly people,
oh boy, what do you got?
Well, you had Jenna Ortega up here, so she's the last one we didn't talk about yet.
Yeah, so Jenna Ortega. Now, let me go ahead and just preface it with this, because I made a point about this a couple of weeks back, and I got a lot of pushback. I told you guys a while ago that, publicists, they lie for a living. So if you're one of those people who, just can't accept what's right in your face, no matter how many times they put it up there, it's like, oh, I'm not going to believe it until so-and-so says that out of their own words, right? Okay, let's play that game here for this topic here. This was 2 years ago. Jenna Ortega exits Scream 7 due to Wednesday schedule and conflicts here. So if you guys recall, here's what happened. Melissa Barberera, who was the main star of this series, and her co-star Jenna Ortega in the new and improved progressive Scream franchise, they both decided that they were going to go all in on Palestine and, say Palestine needs to beat Israel, blah, 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 yada, yada, which also has a lot of biblical context about the end times. We'll get to that in a later conversation.
Very smart. Very smart thing to do.
Very, very, very smart people. She got fired for basically calling Israel genocidal and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, shocker. Hollywood, a bunch of Jews didn't really take kindly to that. So then a couple of days after this, Jenna Ortega just so happens to back out of the franchise too. Now, they didn't want it to make it seem like, oh, I backed out because, clearly I support Palestine too. And if you're going to fire people for supporting Palestine over Israel, then there's no point in me being here. So the spin that was given by Variety and all the publicists that, oh no, she backed out due to scheduling conflicts with Wednesday. Now, these are two pretty big franchises, both Scream and Wednesday. You think that they can at least find some kind of way to work around the fact that they both share the same star, that one wouldn't have to completely back out of the other just because there were scheduling conflicts, right? But here's the article from a couple of years ago. Jenna Ortega has dropped out of Scream 2 due to Wednesday season 2's shooting schedule. Variety has confirmed. So they confirmed this. The news comes after one day after her co-star was fired from the horror franchise due to her public social media post about Israel and Palestine. Ortega's departure was apparently not influenced by Barbara's firing. Pay attention to these words here.
What a surprise.
Months ago, before the SAG-AFTRA strike began, production dates for Wednesday have not yet been confirmed. Ortega also needs to wrap up filming of Tim Burton's Beetlejuice 2, which came out a while back ago. And for a few days, the shoot was interrupted by the SAG strike. So they wanted everyone to know that, hey, guys, our new cash cow, Jenna Ortega, totally did not leave because she supports Palestine just like her co-star. It was because scheduling conflicts. And keep in mind, her exit was planned months before what's her name got fired, as Variety confirmed. So that was the official story. And if you were actually stupid enough to believe that, you are what we like to call a mark. Because here's the updated story from last week. Jenna Ortega says that her Scream 7 exit had nothing to do with pay or scheduling conflicts. It was falling apart after Melissa Barbera got fired. Emphasis on after she was fired. So now here's the updated story. Jenna Ortega revealed in an interview with The Cut that her exit from the Scream franchise was not due to scheduling conflicts, as originally reported by you. Ortega says that who starred in the 2022-2023 Scream movies, has exited the seventh movie, says that it was due to, said at the time it was due to her shooting schedule. That was what you guys said at the time. It had nothing to do with pay or scheduling. The Melissa stuff was happening and it was all kind of falling apart. If Scream 7 wasn't going to be with that team of directors and those people I fell in love with, it didn't seem right move for me in my career at that time. Like I said, even there's a little bit of a spin to it. I pretty much told you exactly what happened here. Jenna supports Palestine just as much as Melissa did. Melissa was obviously more vocal about it. And then she realized that if she was going to stay a part of that project, she was going to have to shut up about her Palestine views, which she did not want to do, which is why she left the movie. That's basically what happened here. And now it's been confirmed that what they told you 2 years ago was complete and utter nonsense. And now you guys know the real story. If only someone had the foresight of telling you exactly what happened several years earlier, then you guys would have known. No, oh, wait, we did do that? We did tell you that this is exactly how everything went. Shocker. If the shocker there.
So here's more of that pre-programming we were talking about.
Yeah.
The boomers that were in charge of the millennials enforced in us that Palestine had a right and that Israel was always going to be wrong forever. When I was coming up, the kids up in Maine were raising holy old hell about Palestine. I remember myself being completely confused as to why what we cared two shits about this 2,000-year-old conflict.
Yeah.
And so meanwhile, back at the plot over there, the I'm sorry, Jenna Ortega's ugly face got stuck in my brain for a minute there, and I had one of those like PNG scary moments in my brain where I was like, "Oh God, she's gonna get me." But the problem we have is this predictive thing. Now you've got Jenna Ortega down here as a Zoomer who's been like twice marinated in this mentality. So of course she's gonna sacrifice everything because 2 generations have told her that it's worth the sacrifice. You remember the flotilla to help Palestine that went into Israel. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
The flotilla? There was like all that junk shit that was put together into like the weird rafty stuff. Then the Israeli forces went in there and found it loaded full of fucking explosives and guns. Yeah. Yeah. That's Jenna Ortega's mindset. She would be on that flotilla if she could get away with it. Now imagine you're a Hollywood producer and you're seeing all these fresh new starlets commit career suicide like dominoes out there, one after another. Like, it's got to be terrifying. No wonder they're putting Zendaya into everything. They can rely on her not shooting herself in the foot. She's not smart enough to try any of this.
Smart enough to keep her mouth shut.
That's true.
Or she is smart enough, right? She is smart enough to keep her mouth shut, but
I guess that's why you see like what's his face, Fantastic Four man,
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal and everything, because he's like, I'll only say the things that are approved, Disney man. That's why he's in everything. That's why Gwen Powell is everything, Sydney Sweeney, because they say the approved thing.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot here. I mean, I just you know what? I look, I like having opinions. I like expressing them. I like voicing them. If I've learned anything, I've just learned the Israeli-Palestine thing. They're going to be arguing about it and fighting about it for the rest of however long we've got. Okay, so that's where I've left it. I don't like, listen, if the reports are true that there's indiscriminate bombing going on against Palestinians, I think that's awful. But if it's like Hamas being targeted, that's something else entirely. And this is the thing, is that a lot of people, a lot of millennials and Zoomers, they hear this stuff, they hear these reports that aren't verified. You can't back them up. And yeah, it's a very sad story. It's a sad narrative. But like, I learned this, in my early 20s, that's like, just because you're told a story about what happened doesn't mean that that's the truth, or that you're not missing context, or you don't have a piece of information that would completely change the outlook on the information you're being given. And these are celebrities. Celebrities are complete idiots when it comes to thinking about anything. I mean, they literally, their job is to be liked. Their job is to make people believe, lies. In terms of the audience, but in being cast and being pursued for future roles, it's about, hey, like me. So I'm going to say the right thing. I'm going to, and that, I mean, look, Jenny Ortega is going to have, she's already in a dark place with what she's pursuing with, like, you know what I mean? Just with the role she's doing. And I don't think she's that talented, to be completely honest, but she has enough fans and she has enough of a following that I don't really think it matters. And, it's not like she has a whole lot of competition, but it's easy to kind of get swept up in this stuff, especially if you spend a lot of time on social media. And so it's just like, whatever. She's, I guess she's going to kind of keep doing this, keep towing this line, but, it hasn't seemed to affect her. But I think that's more of a side effect of how bad Hollywood is right now, not that she's got a promising career ahead.
Well, I just have to ask, I went through this whole day today, and everything I did today had nothing to do with Israel and Palestine. So I have no idea how these megastars, who have even less responsibilities than I do, find their way to being concerned about this. I realize you're bored in your ivory towers, fine and dandy. But what the hell? Why sacrifice your career over something you're never going to set foot? She's not going to Gaza to fight this war. She's going to stay right there and just chit-chat about it on Instagram endlessly. So what the hell? Get mad about sock puppets or something. What the hell? It makes just as much sense.
I mean, there's a couple... So there's a few things going on with this specific story here, and it's hard to kind of talk about it from all angles, but we talked about it from kind of the Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barbara situation here, where they're not directly involved in any way, shape, or form with this conflict. Same thing with what's name, Rachel Zegler, who's out there like, free Palestine. It's like, none of you guys are directly involved with this situation whatsoever. It's like, Gal Gadot, she's from there, she's fought there, I can see why she's invested. If you're someone who's actually from the Gaza, from Jordan, somewhere in that area, that I can see you being personally invested. If you got family over there, that's a completely different story. You got basically Westerners who have no concept whatsoever what's actually happening over there. These are not religious people whatsoever, so they're not, Muslim, they're not Jewish, so they have no connection to the story from a religious standpoint. They have no connection to the story from a regional standpoint. So they're looking at this from a completely stupid left-wing echo chamber perspective of, oh, Palestine is the brown people, then Israel's the evil white people. So Palestine is bad, oppressed. They're the oppressed country, so they're the good guys, and Israel, the white people over there, they're the bad guys, right? Like I said, they have no concept of the religious or historical battle that's actually taking place there right now. So their whole view of this whole situation comes from a 2025 progressive high mind view of, oh, well, Palestine, brown children, so they're good, I guess, and stuff like that. So they're just complete idiots. From a more biblical perspective of what's going on, yes, we are pretty much watching the children of Isaac and Ishmael fighting each other when they've been doing this quite literally since the beginning of creation, when they were both put, like, God literally said that, Ishmael was going to be like a wild donkey to all men. And now we've seen what Islam has done around the world. I mean, just to read the book, people. Outside of that, it's like, also, it says very clearly towards the end, the entire world will be drawn against Israel, more specifically Jerusalem, and we're seeing that conflict grow and grow every single day. It seems like almost everyone now has a problem with Israel, and it's not a political issue anymore. Okay? It's not just the dumb woke lefties who are hated. You see a lot of people on the right who are against it as well. A lot of people who are just outright anti-Semitic at this point, but they're all converging together. It's almost as if there's some book that can predict this event was going to happen at some time in the future. And who knows, we may be knocking on the door of that whole situation right now. So from Jenna Ortega's standpoint, she is a stupid young girl who is caught up in Hollywood, who I guess has her in the point now where she's shaving her eyebrows, looking like a complete freak mutant. Somebody said that, oh no, she's doing this because she has a movie or something like that. I don't know what movie requires you to shave off your eyebrows as a shoot, but she's also done work to her face and her cheeks, and she's only like 22 years old, 23 years old maybe, and it's like, something's going on in Hollywood behind closed doors with these women who are literally marring up their faces right now. What the actual answer is, we may never know officially, but I know enough to say that this is probably not a good thing, as Rob was alluding to here. Something's going on, but hey, you want to be a part of the club, you want to be the marquee star, and a lot of these women who are narcissists are just driven by being, the it girl. They will do whatever it takes to stay in the club, even if it quite literally means sacrificing your own soul. So there's my soapbox rant. If anyone wants to follow that one, go right ahead.
There's a lot of Twitter echo chamber shit though with this like free Palestine, and it really is just a brain rotted take on the whole situation without taking into any of the historical context. And again, I'm someone that is critical of the Israeli government with how they've handled some of this stuff, but you also have to understand the position they're in. And it's just like, yeah, they have been a little heavy-handed with their responses, but it's also like they've been putting up with this shit since 1947 or 1940. I think it's 1947. But and so I'll just leave it at that. You know, it's a complicated issue, and it's not going to get resolved anytime soon. But yeah, you're not a better actress because you care about some fucking social issue in a country you'll never visit. You know, or have anything to do with directly. So I just, you know, I think it doesn't help you. It causes attention in the wrong way. It probably drives some people away from, you know, what the movies that you're in. But if you think it's more important to impress internet randos that, you know, a good percentage probably won't even, you know, buy the stuff that you're selling, you know, good luck with that. An actress being an influencer, it's like, you know, you're already an actress. You don't have to pretend to give a shit about whatever issue just because, you know, people are like, you haven't commented on this yet and people want to know. It's like, who cares? It has nothing to do with acting. And so it just to me, it's just a distraction. It drags you down, and speaks more to you don't have anything going on as an actress, as somebody who wants to give good performances and wants to give audiences a reason to keep patronizing your movies.
I always notice whenever they glow these girls up that they try to hide their eyes. It's always raising their cheekbones and shortening their eyebrows and shaving them off, and it's so they can't see your eyes. Strange.
I don't know what it is with the eyebrows and the cheeks and the bows, but we've seen a number of women, primarily in the last calendar year, who are like they're slowly morphing into creatures that aren't particularly human. And if you guys saw our coverage of Wicked and those two actresses, they're not the only ones. There's been a number of people who have done this completely unnecessary plastic surgery change where they're looking less like the beautiful young girls they were 5-10 years ago. Like I said, at some point you have to start connecting the dots and be like, there's something more going on here that we don't know about. This feels like one of those closed door meetings that we weren't privy to, that we're just seeing happening in front of our faces here. And like I said, we don't know the exact answer, but I know it ain't right.
Well, my conspiracy theory for years has always been, you remember those commercials where they had Abraham Lincoln and a beaver and another guy like sitting around because of insomnia, right? Like after that, they just started showing like people were imagining things, were hallucinating things that were telling you how the drugs are working. Like that became a thing, like a selling point, that you're having hallucinations when you're taking these drugs. So it's like these people have been, you know, fucking your mind up for as long as they can, any way they possibly can, and I feel sorry for this girl.
Yeah. Like I said, I think there's a lot of people going to be taking that mark, and that's, well, I'll leave it there at that. But any final? Oh God! Somebody says, have you seen what Jennifer Love Hewitt looks like now? Is no one safe from that witchcraft? I had to bring this photo up here because I did think that it was funny here that they're doing another I Know What You Did Last Summer. And it's like, didn't the last movie come out like 30 years ago? Like, I think it's been a few summers now to still know what they did last summer, right?
I still know what you did last summer. I mean, they made fun of it in Scary Movie, obviously. But
be like, I know what you did 30 summers ago, yo.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can find this real quick. I do want to bring up that photo here.
Jennifer Love Hewitt made all those recent comments about how she was sexualized and whatever. And it's like watching Heartbreakers, watching Can't Hardly Wait, watching these movies where she does it to herself. She just, you know, has her like fucking tits hanging out or her ass hanging, and it's just like we know the game. We get it. You have a certain window to be an attractive woman in movies, whatever. And it doesn't last. It sucks, but it is what it is. But don't pretend like you
I get it. It's like you were 30 years old when the Client List came out and you had your tits out the whole time and they kept that show going, and now you're 43 and no one see. I get it. It sucks, but at some point you guys just have to cope with the reality. I know it sucks that now you're gonna have to be cast as like the mother in a Hallmark movie now, but you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world.
You're gonna get cast as Annette Bening for the rest of your life, but don't worry.
Yeah. You're not getting booty goon against the wall like Tom Holland. So there's worse worlds in Hollywood out there for you. Like, just be happy with what you got.
Oh man.
Yeah. And then this is her. And by the way, that's clearly like a wig or whatever, because her hair is not that long anymore. They're desperately trying to bring back her long looks. And then this is apparently Freddie Prinze Jr., who I don't know what this goof's been doing for the last 15 years of his life. Like, he keeps talking about, one of these days I'm going to start a wrestling promotion. And then it's like,
living
you do that anytime soon, bro?
Hollywood. Notice Sarah Michelle Gellar hasn't really been in shit either, and they're still married. And it's it's because they got away from Hollywood.
Yeah, they got out. That's probably the only reason why they're.
He looks like he lives in Oklahoma now.
Yeah, right. He looks like one of those like older Cowboys fans.
He's Reacher's dad. He's gonna play Reacher's dad in the next sequel.
He's got his own suite somewhere in AT&T Stadium.
a little bit of a white pill for all that. Remember Amanda Bynes? Remember how terrible Amanda Bynes used to look a couple of months ago?
Yeah, it looks terrible.
Right,
she's doing better.
She got a lot better. Like, she started to clean herself up and everything. So there's a little bit of a white pill to that. Girls are starting to change.
Like I said, the only way you can try to change is to get as far away from that place as humanly possible. That's your only shot when it comes down to it. So, well, that's all the stories that I think we can catch up on here and now. So let's have just a little bit of fun here tonight. Who wants to watch an episode of Global Guts?
Do you have anyone?
Does anyone remember the show? Do you have it?
Do we have it?
Kind of.
Do you have it? So basically, Nickelodeon said in somewhere like 1994, it's like, wow, this American Gladiator show is really cool. Is there any way that we can do this with children? And then someone said yes. And then we ended up getting this show where we got a bunch of preteen teenagers representing their country. So here we have the United States versus the United Kingdom versus Ukraine, or if you guys are old enough to remember when it was called the CIS. So that didn't come back and bite us in the ass 30 years later.
Nope.
There's certainly no conflicts involving Ukraine here 30 years later.
Criminy. Even Junior. Lisa, Angela. Now these are all kids that they picked up like on the lot in Orlando, in the back of Orlando, right? Like,
yeah,
they didn't
back
really
in the
have
days when they had the Orlando studio, which they turned into like the storage area for the Blue Man Group. Oh boy, here we go.
They've come from all over the world with one goal, a glowing piece of our radical rock. But one question...
Oh, wait, just a quick little sidebar here. Shannon Elizabeth, the last time I heard from her, she like moved to Africa and started like trying to save rhinos or something like that. I have no idea like what happened to her, but yeah, she's like way far away. I mean, well, look, I know I told you to get as far away from that series. I didn't particularly mean that far.
Good for her saving the rhinos, though.
Yeah, right.
Still remains. Do you have it? Welcome to the Extreme Arena at Nickelodeon Studios.
Okay, I do have to state this here. Cider, have you legitimately ever seen any episodes of Global Ghost? I saw it the one time that we showed it. I think it was like New Year's Eve or something like that.
No.
Oh, man. Like I said, we might have to delay the show a little bit, but I really do want to see that Cider hasn't seen shit show. It's going to be a gold mine.
This is Global Guts, Nickelodeon's World Championship for kids. Let's meet today's players. From England, playing for the United Kingdom, wearing the blazing blue, it is Lisa, the Challenger, Tatterham.
The Challenger? Kaboom.
From the United States, in the rare bunch, it's red, it's Angela.
The real?
And from Ukraine, playing for the Commonwealth of Independent States.
Ukraine.
It's the Commonwealth of Independent States. Thank you very much.
We're not friends anymore, Ukraine.
Right.
Well, it is the creme de la creme.
Ukraine, you grew up to be a dick.
And the best of the best, and when it is all over,
we got a dick, a faggot, a girl, America here.
This is Global Guts.
Like Ukraine.
I'm here with the international
Mike O'Malley.
action.
Okay, look, guys. Look, I don't want to like go after
Why is
children.
Eddie? Why is Eddie Vedder at the back?
I literally thought to myself, is that Lori Beth Denberg? What is she doing in the back? Oh boy. Yeah. No one behind the camera going, hey, can we move this kid like somewhere else?
Chubby Ramon over here.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Hello everyone, I'm Mike O'Malley and this is Global Guts. And I'm here with an international team of presenters bringing the action to you and over 250 million people all over the world. Before we kick off our World Championship competition, it is time to go to our referee, Maura Quirk.
Who are they talking to?
Gold medal update.
They're raising money for something?
Hello, Mike. Here's a look at where all of our countries stand so far. Today's teams are all hoping for their first gold and a share of second place. To find out who'll succeed, let's kick off
Don't
our
worry,
first event.
guys. I'm pretty sure Ukraine and Russia will come to a peaceful resolution here in 1994.
They're like sharing the same column.
Yeah, because
Mike?
All right, so folks, well, how can a player sky as high as Shaquille O'Neal? Well, in rebound, our Global Guts athlete's going to get an elastic cord on their back. They're going to go sky high.
I am going to fly.
For a rebound. Well,
meanwhile, Shaq's like, how do you know?
Let's go back to Mo for the rules. Mo!
Mike, at the sound of my whistle, all three players will have 7
Mo
chances
is
to
cute.
grab as many rebounds as possible. The player with the most rebounds wins. On your mark, get set.
Alrighty, so with that whistle, the first jump goes.
Boing!
And it looks like Lisa.
Oh, yeah, I remember that shit.
Grabs the first rebound. She's back up on the bridge. Wait for the whistle for the second.
I think I mentioned this beforehand. If you ever go back and play like the Super Nintendo version of Guts, it is literally one of the worst video games of all time.
You saw Lisa in blue touching it, but Angela.
It's like someone tried to make the physics work, figured out they couldn't, and then didn't even try to fix
it.
it.
Looks like blue jumped off a little bit too fast.
Oh, the British girl tried to cheat. That's just like Britain.
On your mark, get set.
All right, so that last basket did count. I just got word from the judges. And this one goes again to Lisa. So it looks to be 2-2 right now. I'm not sure if that's official.
On your mark, get set.
All right.
Come on, America, let's do this.
It looks like Lisa.
Holy crap.
A very quick start off the aerial bridge.
On your mark, get set.
Purple is not getting off the bridge fast enough. Red and blue are...
This isn't fair. Everyone's scared of the British girl because she might start hooliganing it up.
There you go.
Total competition between red and blue.
Use your elbows, damn it.
Right.
Give her a headbutt. Bam!
It looks like Lisa got off first,
Roller
and she
derby.
did. She got off the bridge first. She got the board.
That's why you have elbow pads. You can hit him right in the face.
Lisa came in first place, taking 4 rebounds. She did make one false start, but as she didn't take her rebounds, she was not penalized. In second place was Angela, taking 3 rebounds. In third place, Yevgeny taking...
Yevgeny was taking a fucking nap.
Tune into the aggressiveness factor in this event. Look at Angela, get back up there. She got 200 points.
If that kid went home and they were like, girls are better at grabbing balls than you.
Right, this is lucky. He's lucky he's not from a Europe. He's not from a South American country. They would have cut his head off for
This
it.
is worth 300 points. That goes to Lisa from the UK. In second place with 200 points, Angela
We
from
give
the USA.
Yevgeny points for showing up. He's good boy. Thank you for coming.
Just like Ukraine.
All right, remember the player with the most points at the end of all of our events is the winner. And right now, it is time to say hey to a phenom Lay Day who came all the way from the UK. Hey, Lisa, spill your guts.
Hi, I'm Lisa Cutterham, and I come from Bristol, in England.
Look at her, she's 6'8".
I've never seen a palm tree.
The sports I'm really into are triathlons, horse riding, and gymnastics.
Speak English.
Here's some rosettes that I run jumping, and here's a picture of me riding. I also brought a picture of my dad. He's a great athlete, and I hope I'm as good as what he is.
You run for a living, honey? That's cute.
That
Be
awkward
fair,
moment
double
when a
dare.
teenage girl has a picture of her father just around.
Sure, in skirt and
Yeah, like he actually knows it.
skirt cord. We're gonna give you some rope. You're gonna be scamming some tube time and some tight.
I mean, if I was the interviewer, I'd be like, really? You just brought that with you. Okay. All right. How about mom? No? No mom? Okay.
There's a picture of my dad. He went out for cigarettes like 7 years ago.
Have you seen him?
Best time wins. On your
I
mark,
bring this
get
picture to
set.
every country I go
Who can
to.
get the fastest to the high five?
He's just sitting on the recliner with a beer in his hand, be like, is that Lisa?
Oh, shit.
Through the
Her own personal anime. She had to travel the world fighting her father.
She's moving her hands right down that rope. Slight hesitation as she was looking
My
back
father
at
was
that
a
last
contestant
buoy,
in
but
an
she comes in
American
for the
game
touch.
show, and he never
Find out
came
what the
back.
official time is
No.
for Mo, and Lisa, as I said, she went into
He went
the
on
match
Jeopardy by
as
the
our
same
leader.
means.
Looks like we're going
He
home.
went on Jeopardy and died of a tongue twister.
Lisa clocked in at 16.8 seconds, which includes one 2-second penalty for lifting her board out of the water.
She just cheats all over this thing. I'm
We're
telling
lifting
you.
her bored ass out of the water. Is
Angela's
what I
nickname is
heard.
the wheel. And
Bored
Angela
ass
was
out of the
neck and neck off the aerial deck with Lisa,
Whee!
but Lisa grabbed one more rebound.
Hurry up,
so
Lisa.
Right now, looks like Angela can take the lead and she can hustle in
Whoa.
there. Looks like the board's still in the water in the touch.
Yay.
Was 16.8. We'll find out if she got a penalty. Mo.
Angela clocked in at 14.3 seconds.
Getting up next will be Victory Vaklakov.
All right, dude. This is for
On your
all the
mark,
balls. All right.
get set.
All right. Balance, concentration, and focus.
This kid.
God, dude.
Kid.
Look at this man moving.
No wonder
Oh
they're
my
asking
God.
$400 billion.
See, back in the day, if we were coming in last place, we would just get slapped upside the head to make us go faster.
Absolutely.
And stretching just under, I believe, Lisa's time.
Oh, hey, good for him.
Now Mo will consult with our
These are
judges
firmly
and
in
make sure
third.
that Victory didn't have any
Firmly in
penalties.
third.
Let's go to her now. Mo.
No penalties for Yevgeny. He clocked in at 16.7 seconds, which puts
Oh my goodness.
Angela in first place, Yevgeny in second
just
place,
squeaked
and
on by.
Lisa in third place.
Well, when you're in blue, you gotta set the pace, but right here, boom.
I'm trying to identify the Ukrainian kid. He's a solid C student.
For Lisa, the challenger, putting her in third place. Yevgeny making great moves down the first section of the pool, but watch the hesitation. Right there, stop. You pick the pace back up, continue.
Yevgeny forgot where he was for a minute there.
I don't know how to swim.
In purple, he's right back in it. Let's go to Mo and check out the leaderboard. Mo.
Well, Mike, now Angela from the USA is in the lead with 500 points.
Yeah,
In second place is Lisa from
USA,
the UK
USA.
with 400 points. In third place is Yevgeny from the CIS with 300 points.
Look at the Ukrainian kid. Fuck
Just
you.
getting underway. When we come back, a little free kick, a little jump. Stick around, we'll be back at a flag.
And who would know that in 30 years, the little boy would be asking the other two girls for money like every single time.
Oh yeah, welcome.
Oh no, he's
Global
dead.
Guts, a
They sent him
global
out
piece
of the front
crag,
lines,
still
man.
up for
He's
grabs, but right now we're gonna meet somebody who's taking aim for a little sports fame in the U.S. Hey, Angela, spill your guts.
Hi, I'm Angela Ferris from Toledo, Ohio, USA.
Okay, hold on.
She married a used car salesman.
Is she wearing a "Do Not Mess with Texas" shirt? Is that what she's wearing here?
Yep.
Like I have to slow this down just for a second because apparently, thanks to YouTube, you can't get a playback here that actually works properly.
Don't go too fast on the American flag, otherwise you're gonna see some images you're not gonna like.
I was just trying to see the shirt, and I got to play this frame by frame, like a crime scene detective.
If you can't score, oh my what?
Don't play.
It said, if you can't score, don't play with me. That's literally.
Yep, I told you. She married a used car salesman.
Ma'am, I don't think you're old enough to be wearing that shirt.
It was an innocent time, okay, guys? Jesus.
Jiminy Crickets.
Remember, "and one" shirts? You know what I mean? Whatever. I'm done.
Remember FUBU? Remember Player 69 jerseys people were wearing?
I'm just saying, where is she from? Wayfair, Ohio?
Something like that.
Oh, yeah. Audio.
USA.
Yeah.
I enjoy playing basketball and doing gymnastics. I also like to run track and field.
Everybody likes to
My
run.
fantasy is to open a professional basketball league for women.
Ooh.
If I don't win here,
Caitlin Clark over here.
have fun.
Ooh. I got bad news for you.
Here, I break it to you. You ended up getting that, but it's all dominated by lesbians now.
Wasn't it the same year, though? 1994? Wasn't that the year the WNBA started? Or something like that? It was 96. But anyway.
The only way she contributed is donating her hair to them.
That's a rough wish, man. Careful what you wish for.
Literally, a year after this is when the WNBA started.
Mm-hmm.
And,
They heard this and they were like, well, that's enough evidence for us.
Hey, unless you want to munch carpet, ma'am, this is
they haven't scored since.
My sports fantasy is to open a professional basketball league for women. Even if if I don't win here at Global Guts, I'm going to have fun and do the best that I can.
Oh, see, that's American of you.
What makes a good athlete is hard work and dedication. You have to want to play the game.
You are the last of a dying breed, man.
You think World Cup goalies have it tough?
I'm glad she's running a tow truck company this day.
45 seconds. All these balls are going to come flying at their head. They're going to have to defend the goal alone. Check this out. Let's go to the rules for Mo. Mo.
Mike, players will have 45 seconds to defend their goal against 2 cannons firing soccer balls at them, staying in their zone at all times. The player who makes the most saves wins. On your mark, get set.
I guess she heard me. She was laughing.
All right, and with that whistle, our leader going into this event.
I know you little British trick.
Are they using the same gun that killed Maud Flanders? What the hell is going on?
That moment when the American is better at this than either of the European kids.
Oh crap!
Look at this.
They can move from side to side.
How embarrassing, right?
Look at Angela. She's just staying right there in red.
Like, that's your thing, guys. Soccer, of all the things.
Exactly. But poor Mr. Ukraine over there.
Look at her,
We don't have soccer in my country.
She's called the war.
But that right there is Lisa.
Putin won't let us play soccer anymore.
She's moving over to the side. But she also, in victory, right there in purple. So all of our players are pretty much staying stationary.
In first place was Angela.
Look at her. She looks like the Ivan Drago of little girls.
In second place, Lisa making 30. In third place, Yevgeny making 29.
If he's Ukrainian, he's Ukrainian.
All right, well, our players have 45 seconds as they got bombarded with ball after ball. The thing to remember in this event is concentration and focus. You got to get your instincts together.
At least she's jumping up and down trying to make an effort, you know?
Each and every one of those balls.
That's why she wins.
68 of them that come flying at you. And look at victory. Very concentrated on that one cannon that continues to shoot balls at him. But the other balls are just flying into the net right there on the other side. He's concentrated.
The Pele balls are just going all through him.
But the wheel, that's Angela Ferris. Her lock position. The wheel knocking them all down. She just concentrated on that one cannon, got every single one. This lady with another first place finish. Let's check out the leaderboard and Mo.
Angela from the USA is in the lead with 800 points. In second place is Lisa from the UK with 600 points. And third place, Yevgeny from the CIS with 400 points.
All righty, folks. Well, right now it is time. We're going to meet a man who's taking aim for a little sports fame in the Ukraine. He's looking for the crag. It's Victory Vaklakov. Spill your guts.
Hi, my name is Eugenie Vaklakov, and I come from Kiev, Ukraine.
Eugenie Blackflicker?
I play soccer and I swim, but my favorite sport
Not very well, kid.
My hobbies are collecting coins and photography. Here in America, I like that the streets are straight and that there are a lot of people from other countries and that everything is beautiful.
The streets are straight?
I'm sorry. Time out. Pause. Did he say as a positive about America that our streets are straight?
Yes. Okay, you have to understand that in the Caucasus Mountain region, like some of those roads are severely fucked up. So, you know, I don't know, man. I just think about it that way.
I don't know.
It's Ukraine just after the Berlin Wall fell. Okay,
Right.
it was just after the fall of the Soviet Union, like 93, right? This is when this happened.
Right, right.
93. So the Soviets fell in 92. So quite obviously, he's like, I appreciate that there is some form of government and that people aren't eating each other.
He's like, it's so beautiful here, and it's like you're like a communist-controlled, like Eastern European country. So
I'm more scared about a Ukrainian kid that kind of looks like that and carrying around. My principal hobby is photography. It's like, it's a little serial killer vibe there, you know?
I appreciate that the lights are on after dark. It's very unique. Never seen this.
I can't believe. In Russia, they light you up.
I like how your Walmarts have the yellow mascots. It's very funny.
I met Ronald McDonald.
President Ronald McDonald.
Time to put a little bump in your jump.
Ooh, crisscross, gonna make it jump.
It's jumping. It is coming up next. Let's go to Mo.
Remember when you could just say that and people knew what you were talking about? It was
Absolutely.
weird.
And touch the top
Yep.
of the
Hey, remember the day when that wasn't a severely dated reference?
Yeah, right? We were like, oh, that's cool that they mentioned that song, and now it's like, oh god, they mentioned that song.
It's like, oh god, one of them's dead now.
Why'd they force us to wear our clothes backwards?
Do you understand that if you watch the Michael Jackson video in 2025, the only person in that video who's still alive is one half of Crisscross?
That's what I'm saying. I can't hate these Minecraft kids. I wore my clothes backwards because Crisscross did.
Yeah.
All right, so like, you run where the meme takes you.
Opposite bridge before returning to end the race. Best time wins. On your mark, get set.
All right, look at the concentration on Lisa, the challenger's face. She comes up first in nice form over the first hop, but she didn't get a good jump over the second.
Go back to England.
Help me! Help me!
Bridge so she can begin her return. You see, she's just hanging from the elastic cord there. We'll see what the second jump can do as she goes back over. There, she's
too light. That's the problem.
Hell with you! Oh, see.
You're not pushing, man.
Now she's acting like the hooligan I like about her.
You wait, that little Ronda Rousey chick. She's gonna come through and just run this because she's just built like a brick shithouse.
Lisa clocked in at 37.8 seconds. That includes 2 5-second penalties for knocking down the hurdle.
Okay,
she's
so
crying.
as you take a look at the challenger,
there's no crying in guts.
Is getting ready.
On your mark, get set.
They call her the wheel. And the wheel is in motion over
the wheel.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, good job.
She is just a beast.
Wow.
A little rodent.
Clear it. Yeah. Clear it again.
Oh, that's okay. That's
right there, though. She comes up for the touch.
5 seconds.
I was gonna make fun of her name, but she was cruising pretty fast there.
On the first 3 bars, tucking your legs back up.
All right, time to show that male athleticism,
clocked in at 23.5 seconds.
Come on, you Getty.
Including 1 5-second.
Pretend they're barbed wire fences you're jumping over.
Okay, so as the wheel gets down,
you're dodging mortars,
bridge,
kid. Let's go.
Up next will be Victory from the Ukraine. Let's see what he can do.
There's something I'll never hear in my life.
Set.
A perfect opportunity for him to get first place points as he goes.
Come on, male athleticism. Let's go.
There we go. I'm going to use some of that forward momentum.
Finish in this one because he goes into the event with 400.
Let's go. Come on.
Holy crap.
He just went right through.
Are we sure this kid isn't Polish?
Yevgeny clocked in at 28.4 seconds, including 2 hurdle penalties, which puts Angela in first place, Yevgeny in second place, and Lisa in third place.
My God.
After 3 events, you got to go into a little jump.
You know what it is, though? I bet because he's Ukrainian, he got bought off earlier, so, you know, they gave him a sandwich and a glass of orange juice. He'd never seen that before, so maybe that's why he's losing all the time.
Toes just knock over the 3rd bar. The wheel.
It's the Ukraine, so they just laundered all the training money.
Right.
1 down, 1 back up, right back into it. First place points.
Exactly. We should have seen this coming by watching that.
And a little bit yesterday, we had time to talk to Lisa, the challenger. Here's what she had to say. How did it feel when you found out you were going to be here on Global Guts?
Exciting, and just couldn't wait, really.
Are you my father?
I feel completely defeated.
Yeah, I was on holiday and I phoned my mum and she just screamed at me.
You look like my mum and dad.
So I just screamed and told everyone.
I didn't bring a picture of me mum though, just a picture of me dad. Don't think about it too hard.
Still in the lead with 1,100 points.
I have 2 mums.
Second place is Lisa from the UK with 700 points. And
My
third
dad's
place
Keir
Yevgeny from the
Starmer.
CIS with 600 points.
Okay, so that's the score. We're done with this. We're done with elastics. Stick around when we come
We're
back.
done with you. Oh wait.
Well,
We take on the crowd.
Nah, he's still around.
I kind of want a Guts hockey jersey. That seems kind of cool.
Welcome back to Global Guts.
I'm sure there's an Etsy store they're making for you.
There's gotta be some more on eBay you can buy that.
Over. 3 players from 3 countries battling it out for 1 piece of our glowing rock and 1 Guts gold medal. And while our world-class athletes get
He really was the kid's version of Joe Rogan, wasn't he?
Remind you that the points in this our final event, they have
Yeah,
skyrocketed.
Joe Rogan had hair.
375 for 3rd, 550 for 2nd, a whopping 725
Are we sure they're not the
for
same
1st.
guy?
Let's go to the leaderboard. And
No,
check out
this
where
guy
we
like
stand
was
now.
on. I forget what TV
After
show he was
4
on.
events,
But
Angela from the
yeah, he was only
USA
on
is in the
sitcoms
lead
and
with
stuff.
1,100 points.
But then again,
in
I guess
second
so
place
is
with
the Rourke.
700 points is Lisa from the UK. And in third place with 600 points, Yevgeny from the CIS.
And that is where they stand. This is how they got there. It all started with rebound.
This was
with our
basically
players
Trump
going
versus
sky high.
Starmer versus Zelensky.
Lisa, the challenger, battling her way to a first place finish.
This is tariff guts.
Points, grabbing those rebounds uncontested. We then went into Scurf and
I want 110% for this new league hero.
Did they have a Chinese kid come on here?
She comes in for
You know, the Filipinos are in the crowd.
Here's how all international conflict should be handled in an episode of Guts.
The Ukraine.
Children should have to decide
Children.
the physical competition. Yes.
Yeah.
Points for him. 200.
We'll give you $200 billion.
Free kick where he was knocking down a bunch of soccer balls. But this event also went to the wheel.
It's no better than
Staying poised and strong in the
That's right, reporting live from MSNBC here. That's right, we're reporting on the children's competition to decide the tariff rates. How many soccer balls you manage to knock away determines how many percentages your country has to pay in tariffs. Pretty thrilling.
North Korea just lost another competition, so safe to say we won't be seeing that kid ever again.
This is one of those games where you have to play in order to get any rank. If you don't play, you're going to get all of them.
Crag, then it was the Mega Crag. Now it has evolved into the Super Aggro Crag.
We couldn't find the Taiwanese contestant. He seems like he escaped halfway during
more obstacles and newer surprises than ever before. Players begin in bold.
I didn't know Guts had a Squid Game element to it.
Erupt from the canyon floor. Then it's up through Switchback Bend with volcanic boulders ready to explode at the slightest touch. Lurking ahead,
and what if they weren't serious? What if they weren't kidding? Like they have like mines, you know?
I just love how he props it
Oh
up.
my god! We gotta get the Ukrainian kid out of there. He's gonna go through PTSD.
Right? This is the one he excels
Imagine if
at.
those were like real rocks. And just
Right?
like we're hyping it up like he's going up Death Mountain.
See, right? He doesn't get past the first level. He's huddled off in the corner. No!
At the top will be full-grown adults pitching 2-pound rocks picked from the quarry below into the faces of these children.
Identical side of the mountain to climb.
Then they'll be sprayed in the face, but it was basically the equivalent of liquid
During their
napalm.
climb, players must light up each of 8 targets located on their
We have
side
Barry
of the
Bonds
crag.
joining us to
The
be
first
pitching
player to
rocks
activate
tonight.
all of the targets, including the final one at the peak of the crag, will receive first place points. Mike.
And so now,
Like Hulk
after
Hogan
months
saw
of
this and he's
training,
like, do it better,
thousands of
brother.
miles of
Do it
travel,
better.
and with
You know the worst part is I bet you Donald Trump watches these. He's already trying to make a bid for the aggro rock. It's just like Greenland.
This is how Pete Hegseth trains Marines now.
Right.
This is what you have to do in order to get into Secret Service. You have to complete an episode of Guts.
That's why the women are winning.
And this is when the climb begins up Boulder Canyon.
Come on, America!
Getting stuck on the first part of Boulder Canyon as Lisa the Challenger heads up through Switchback Bend. Right
Come
now,
on, I want to
looks
see
be
the boulders.
Lisa
The boulders are the
in
best
lead.
part.
She's in blue.
There they are! Kabam! In the face!
Angela looks to be going very slow through
Boom goes the dynamite!
And Yevgeny in purple is knocking down the actuator. It looks like all alone at the top of the crag is Lisa.
Oh my
the
God.
Challenger. And so Yevgeny coming in second.
Wow!
I believe he locked in on Angela's actuator, but coming up third will be Angela. A crucial finish right here. Let's go to Mo and find out the results. Mo!
Well, Mike, Lisa from the UK and Angela from the USA both missed the smallest boulder in Boulder Canyon, which automatically puts them both in third place.
Told ya.
Which means
So
that
weird.
Yevgeny from the
The Ukraine win by default, baby, yeah!
Yep.
And so our
Default,
players
default,
attacking the Super
default.
Aggro Crag, they've got to keep their poise right here. You see Angela
As
running
they say,
right
that's
into
W
Boulder
in America.
Canyon.
I'm telling you,
Jumping
baby,
off
running on
prematurely
solid C students.
Cause her disqualification. And then you see the sleet, the snow.
I didn't win
the
more than
ice,
the other two
the
failed.
smoke, the rocks all on top of
Isn't that the story of the US and the
all way
UK though?
From the UK to conquer the Super Aggro Crag, getting up the ice wall and locking in it first. But her triumph was premature. She also
This
was
proves that girls are no
disqualified
good
for
at
jumping
sports
off
or that
of
they
Boulder
can't
Canyon.
count.
Let's go to Mo and check out our final leaderboard standings. Mo!
Here they are, Mike. In third place today with 1,075 points, Lisa from the UK.
Yes,
in
America
second
still
place
wins,
with 1,325 points, Yevgeny from the CIS. Our winner today with 1,475 points, Angela from the USA.
CIS.
And so,
Yeah,
Federation of
the bronze
Independent
will go
States.
to Lisa, the challenger.
That's what we called Ukraine back in the 90s in order to not piss off Russia.
Conquered rebound.
Listen, guys, you can't laugh at any of this. She will never find her father as the third place winner.
Yevgeny, Olympic Games victory. This man took first place on the crag.
At least Yevgeny was right and was biting on this one.
I say we should move forward with a declaration that the national anthem should only be played on a bass guitar moving forward.
She competed hard all day, which garnered her enough points to take home a glowing piece of the Guts Rock.
Did you hear that Lisa won the Global Guts competition, Mr. President? Wow. It's amazing. I can't believe you're telling me this for the first time. Wow.
Because she is the champion today. And so, ladies and gentlemen,
I want to see Trump invite the winner of Guts to the White House to a McDonald's dinner to congratulate them.
Absolutely. You did a beautiful job.
I want to thank you for representing the United States in the jumpy thing. You did a fantastic job in the jump, unlike Ukraine.
When I saw her on the aggro crag, I was like, wow, she hit all the elevators.
Wow, this is wonderful. Wow.
Yeah, fuck those other countries.
Back in the day when women used to not have dicks.
Even to a young Charlotte Flair to bring it home for America.
I guess she's going to score tonight.
Where you'll find the best.
Right?
I'm still weirded out by Lisa having like a 12x5 of her father just
in her pocket.
She's still traveling the country of the United States looking for her father to cite her. It's like kung fu.
She's old by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's our age.
She's
older.
Yeah,
she's my age. Yeah.
Because I mean, if she was 13 in 1995,
that's
she'd
right.
be like,
I was I was 6, so yeah.
She'd be like mid 40s now. So she.
But yeah.
Oh, then I could totally hit on her. Then. What am I worried about?
She's somewhere forcing her students to watch Adolescence on Netflix.
Yeah, probably. I was thinking that the Ukrainian dude he might be dead because he was forced to the front line.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hope not, but you know.
No, he moved to Russia and he became Dmitry Medvedev.
Yeah.
That's what happened to him. He came second in command.
The American girl owns like a dive bar in Texas.
No, I told you she got married to a used car salesman. Everything about that little girl said, I'm going to grow up and marry a used car salesman.
Yeah.
Everything about her.
Married a used car salesman, open a towing service so they can tow them.
Yep.
All right.
We sell them and we repo them all in one place.
Yeah.
It's Saturday night, so I'll leave the choice up to you guys. We can either stop it right here or we can watch one more thing, an episode of Legends of the Hidden Temple. And Rob's already shaking his head no.
Yeah, I'm out, but you guys have fun if you guys decide to stay.
I'm good. I'll watch it.
I don't mind.
So you're not going to stay here after 20 more minutes for us, Rob?
No, I'll see you Tuesday? Oh, no, that's right. You don't know if there's going to be a show Tuesday. So
I don't know yet, but like I said, I'll keep you all posted. So hopefully it won't be too much longer for the next time I see you guys. So
all right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, Rob.
Bye.
Well, that leaves you guys here, and I'm pretty sure
kids.
all remember Legends of the
The
Hidden
KKK, the Cool Kids Club.
Yep. All of our names are K. There's no chips.
I didn't say it. You can't look at me like that. I didn't say it.
Look, okay, so Kiter.
All of our
has a
names are
way
legally
different-
start with a K, so it's not racist.
Kiter does not. That sounds like a racist thing you'd say.
Kidder.
No.
It would be Kidder.
Well, when you
Kiter.
say Kiter, it somehow sounds more German, which I don't
Right.
think is the
Kiter. Like Kinder eggs?
Yeah, the Kiter.
Kiter hype.
Mhm. Yeah, you should go definitely. Go
That actually does sound like a really good like 1970s progressive techno band, like Bauhaus kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, something
Find
like
out.
Techno Viking.
You find out in Germany that it's like some terrible insult to call Jewish people. So
Yeah, right.
What's on side the hype?
But let's go here with our good buddies over with Legends of the Hidden Temple. This is a show that has stuff. That
Okay, now this one actually, like, they actually try to bully the children during the fucking running.
A lot of harassing of the children here.
Right.
So the question is that what color are you guys picking to be the winner of this?
The Hidden Temple.
I always pick purple.
You got purple. I'll pick orange. Where you going with, Spider?
And here he is now.
You got blue, green, red.
Which Power Ranger are you gonna go with?
Yeah.
No, I always choose, like, I think it's Silver Monkeys. I don't remember which one I always choose. I'm sorry. It was always one I always choose. I like the color.
Which one are we going to hear about today? The legend of the
that.
jewel-encrusted egg of Catherine the Great.
All right, the jewel-encrusted egg of Catherine the Great.
Well, what was Catherine the Great doing in the jungle?
The jewel-encrusted egg, will it be the Red Jaguars? How about the Blue Barracudas? Maybe the Green Monkeys? Perhaps the Orange Iguanas? What about the Purple Parrots? Or the Silver Snakes?
Yeah.
They're gonna have to pass some tough
headbutt each other before physical competition.
It must have been the Green Monkeys then, because who choose green? Anybody choose green?
No.
Okay, I'll do that one. I'll do green.
Before you hangs an abandoned
Green Monkeys.
Orange, purple, and green.
There we go.
Kurt gives the signal. The first
No, the snakes will win. You wait.
Without touching the water, grab onto the net and climb over.
We're playing for bragging rights.
And dash to the opposite side. When you are completely out of the water, that will be your partner's signal to do the same. If you touch the water,
same.
You must go back and begin again. When both partners have crossed the net, run over and hit the gong. The first 4 teams to hit their gongs will go on to the next round.
All right, let's get started. Hey, teams, are you ready?
The first 4 teams hit their dogs.
Olmec, are you ready?
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get set, go. The first swing is the most important swing. Wow.
Oh, yeah, purple, yeah. Woo!
Orange,
that's it, baby.
Purple off. Silver, orange off. Blue's a little caught up.
Okay, so that is water. I was wondering, like, is that just like a smoke pit? Or...
Remember, we're looking for 4 teams. Yeah,
they just fall into oblivion.
Yeah, just shatter their ankles because they thought that there's more.
Swinging. Purple Parrots.
All right. So, hey, Green Monkeys not having a good time here.
Who's going to be the next one?
Where is the Green Monkey?
He's still trying to make it over. The first one.
What? We need Colonel Hartman up there. Damn it, Paul! Get up on this goddamn thing over here!
He's having a bit of trouble.
Oh my God! It is Private Pile.
He is 1,000% on the struggle bus right now.
Yeah, he is. No one ever taught this kid how to climb a rope net.
Get the hell off of my obstacle! Get the hell off of my obstacle!
That kid is quite literally fighting for his life.
He's gone back. He's gone back to give the other kid a try.
This kid's gonna end up on Adolescence one day.
You know, Kurt Fox said they're like, go back, and none of these kids actually climb.
He just gave up.
Good job, kid. That's always the best way to go. All right, you do it, stupid.
Too late as the Blue Barracudas are out of the water. We've got our 4 teams right there.
And I guess the green guys just didn't make it.
No problem at all getting across and going onto the steps of knowledge of the Purple Parrots.
Well, you know, in gym class, you never had an opportunity to go to space camp. So.
And those Blue Barracudas.
Right, it was either this or Camp Canaveral.
And the Red Jaguars. The Silver Snakes and the Green Monkeys gave it a great effort, too. We got a nice gift for them, and here's what it is.
Skechers are fun shoes. Sneakers, boots, sandals, and shoes with lights in them called lights. Skechers are comfortable and fun to wear. Skechers.
I literally picked the 2 teams that didn't qualify. Wow. Okay.
As the
like literally either your picks would have been terrible.
Tell us about this jewel-encrusted egg of Catherine the Great. So teams, you're going to have to pay attention because your knowledge of the legend can and will bring you a step closer to Olmec's temple.
You want to pick another color?
One of the greatest rulers of all time was Catherine the Great, Tsarina of Russia. During her reign, she unified
Things
all
they don't
Russia
tell
and
children
conquered
these
Eastern
days.
Europe. A German princess.
White Russia.
To marry Peter, the heir
Isn't that a drink?
of Russia in
Remember when we tried to
1745?
educate kids through entertainment?
And did not love her. When he became the Czar, he decided to do away with Catherine.
This Olmec would be saying, skibbity toilet, toilet, you're dead.
And this is when Catherine the Great rizzed up at Russia.
Czar had many enemies who were tired of his tyrannical ways. Catherine's closest friend,
Catherine was like
Gregory
poggers.
began to plot for her. One morning at dawn, a handsome cavalryman appeared with a carriage waiting to take her to the palace.
Everything is ready to proclaim you empress.
Poor Catherine was terrified.
Okay, for
This
what it
is
is,
such a moment in time because there's no way kids to today would be able to make it this far into the history lesson.
Gregory
what
They'd
it
be like
is,
punching each other like.
What's going on?
Hey,
For what it
maybe
is-
if there was like a game
You are
show
to be the empress of Russia.
immediately
Long live
after
our
history,
little
they would
mother
have done
Catherine.
better on the test.
if you look at all their faces, though, even back then they had that, like, you know, that weird thing that Jenna Ortega's going through.
Encrusted egg of Catherine the Great and
Oh,
bring
more
it back
face.
here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Olmec. Tell us, where is the jewel-encrusted egg?
The jewel-encrusted egg of Catherine the
It's
Great.
up
can be
your
found
ass
in
and
a
around the
room
corner.
of Ancient warrior.
All right,
Thanks,
teams
Olmec.
are now standing on the steps of knowledge. In a minute, Olmec's going to ask you a question. If you think you know the answer, I want you to stomp down on an ancient marking in front of you. If you're right, you're going to move down to the next level.
You know, this is
Or
a-
run
way
out of time, I'm going to give the other
To
two
San
chances.
Jose.
The first two teams to make it to the bottom level
La la la
will be
la
one
la la
step
la.
closer to Olmec's temple. All right, Olmec, we're ready for your first question.
Am I wearing panties right
PewDiePie
now?
said what word on the bridge?
Arena of Russia.
What is a chicken jockey?
Next question, Olmec.
What country was Catherine originally from?
Ukraine.
Germany.
That is right.
All right, the orange iguanas are just like that, or one step away. Next question.
What was her royal title in Germany? Duchess, lady, or
The
princess?
Fuhrer.
Iguanas.
That is correct.
Whoa, the orange iguanas are the first team going to the Temple Games. Wow, quick fast.
All right, so I picked the jocks. It's okay. It's okay.
Who's going to be the next team? The purple parrots, the blueberry.
At least your guys qualify.
Next question.
Was Catherine brought to Russia to marry, to learn manners, or to learn Russian?
Purple parrots. Mary.
That is correct.
Step down.
That's right. We're supposed to marry.
Was the name of her husband?
Red Jaguars.
Peter.
That is correct.
Step down, Red Jaguars.
I wanted to hear the option.
What was the name of Catherine's best friend? Gregory Orloff.
Jim.
Boris
That was her husband's name. Jim.
Correct.
Step down, Red Jaguars. They're just a step
Mitch.
away.
Mitch the average.
Next question.
Czar Mitch of Russia.
To take over Europe, to make Catherine Tsarina.
Red
Mitch.
Jaguars.
To make Catherine Serena the princess.
That is correct.
All right, these two teams will be going on to the Temple Games.
Yay.
It's the Red Jaguars.
One of my
Good
versus the
teamwork.
other guys.
And the Orange Iguanas. Good job. Purple Bears, come on over.
Ah, well, we're still jocks. It's okay.
We enjoyed having them with us. We got a nice gift for them, and here's what it is.
We get shoes.
Aliens with attitude have landed on notebooks. And
Oh, we get video games.
Aw, they gave you school supplies. That's fucked.
Oh, boo!
Back to school.
Imagine going on a Nickelodeon game show to win school supplies.
These two teams will be playing for the right to enter Olmec's temple, and they're going to do it right after
That's
this.
brutal.
See, that's not fair. That other team has glasses. They were going to win anyway. Hey, if this is allowed, can we do Where in the World is Carmen San Diego?
Hey, welcome back to Legends. Now, of course, this is the time when the glory goes to the fastest and the strongest. But before we get started, hey, why don't we meet our teams? On the Red Jaguars, we have Kristen. She's into softball.
And they're competing today for a Yamaha keyboard.
He's really into swimming, and he wants to be a marine.
We have their
pilot.
parents locked in the dungeon downstairs.
Let's hear it for
So
the Red
they're
Jaguars.
That's it's the only prize I remember from this show
And
was
on
the
the Orange
Yamaha
Iguanas, we have
keyboard.
Rourke.
That's
Always
the
the
only
Yamaha.
thing I remember.
well, they cost $1 million back then.
And
Yeah, right.
Brian is into baseball.
Olmec,
He
tell
wants
them what they
to
won. They won a
hear it for the
Yamaha
Orange
keyboard.
Iguanas. All right,
Yes.
ready to play?
I'll be able to make my middies in peace.
Hey, that's nice.
Right.
All right,
Meanwhile,
go
the
get ready,
kid can
boys.
only do like Axel F, like
Typical games. We're going to be competing, ladies and gentlemen, the tenets of life. That's right.
That's all they can do on it.
This is amazing.
Temple guards as they make their way through the temple.
They even notice it's pre-programmed into the thing.
Please tell us about
It's
temple game number one.
pre-programmed Axel F.
They thought they made them like AI. I made it. I created this.
To join her court. Before you lies an assortment of books, paintings, and sheet music in a variety of colors. When Kurt gives the signal, crawl underneath, hop through the hole, and grab the art object you find there. Then, go on to the next hole. If the object you find there matches...
What is Olmec talking about? This is a real dick move, Olmec. What are these kids gonna do?
Drop them in your case.
These look like improvised toilets at like a hunting camp, you know?
The one you find and go on to the next hole. The player with the most pairs of art objects in their case. In 60
Whoever
seconds.
collects the most issues of Cosmo by the toilets wins the
On the
match.
clock. On your marks. Get set. Go.
What the hell, Skibbity do my ass?
Here, because once they grab one of the objects, then they gotta go.
Legends of the Skibbity Temple.
Go back and find it, so it's really difficult.
I don't know what's going on.
Let's see.
They come up, grab a 9-inch nails out, go down, come back up and throw it back.
I know Olmec just spoke for like several minutes, and I still don't understand what the rules
So
of the
they,
game is.
they gotta go get the art, then they gotta go back to the place and put the thing, the thing goes.
Grab the art object. Find the
This just seems like a really complicated way to smuggle drugs.
1-0. Orange iguanas have one. Red have none.
They just wanted the kids to come out of the toilet because one of the producers has gas.
It turns out the Mexican kids were really good at this game for some reason.
All right, let's check it out. Let's come on out here.
Let's check it out.
Drop that one.
How many
It's over, you
pistol
little
covers?
idiot.
Bring the baskets over
Lose.
here. Let's start with the orange. Orange had 1, 2. They
Wasn't
had
there a
pair
third
so
kid?
that's one match.
Did you kill him in there?
They had a match there, so it's tied.
They
Let's
left
get
him in the
to half
toilet.
end of life. I think it's a good
The
memory.
mouth guard's
All
still
right,
in.
the second game, it's where the
You can
half
take that out now.
When Catherine became Tsarina of Russia, she set about...
She sank herself into the toilet for some reason.
Peter, your task is to smash Peter's statues.
Smash Peter's balls.
Get into your carriage. Roll
Your
to the
job
first
is to
statue,
bag tag
get out
Peter.
and smash it. Then roll back to the second statue. Get out and smash it. Finally,
Smash
the third one in the middle. The first player to smash all 3 statues.
I wonder why Russia doesn't like
Further
us.
along in 60
Oh man,
seconds.
stop saying smash.
60 seconds on the clock.
Why do they like me? I'm
On
such a
your
great guy.
Get set. Go. Let's take
Despite all my rage, I'm just a hamster in a cage.
agility. And if you're behind, it's going to take speed.
Fuck this Russian king.
I hate them all.
Orange got to get back in.
This guy who had nothing to do
I
with,
think the red is taking off now.
who had nothing to do with Soviet rule. Fuck this guy.
Will they be able to do it without going over? I think they do. And that's it right there. With authority. Come on over here.
Yeah, fucked up that Russian king.
That's right, destroy the idols, bash their brains.
Just edged out.
God said
false
gods.
That's right, no false gods, right, buddy?
Hey,
No false gods.
Legend of ISIS,
Christ is
Olmec.
king.
Legend of ISIS.
It turns out the table's like super based.
To make Catherine their Tsarina, the Russian people first had to get rid of Tsar Peter.
Every single time he says Serena, I think of Sailor Moon. And like thinking Catherine the Great was Sailor Moon.
The only thing I know about Peter and Catherine is that they loved each other so much that they were buried in like opposing caskets above ground, so that when they rose from the rapture, they would face each other and go to heaven together.
Wow.
And that's all I know about
For the
them.
temple.
That's romantic.
Let's get in
In
position.
a
On your
weird
mark.
spirit vampire kind of way.
It's Russian. They're like that. That's how
Yeah.
they think.
Get set.
Fucking
They
vodka.
kind of live to die. Like the whole philosophy is to live to die. So
I've been to Russia, I can see why.
yeah,
Czar down.
Kill the
They don't have
Tsar!
straight
Not the
roads.
ghost!
they don't have
Now, wait a
straight
minute.
roads.
Come back.
Didn't Franz Ferdinand have a start World War I doing this?
So does the red.
This is a representation of Montezuma. You will destroy an idol of South America. Prove your loyalty to America.
With your loyalty to Cusco.
I like how we have a symbol, like the Olmecs, like the most mysterious ancient South American civilization, and he's just selling Yamaha keyboards.
Look at what they do to my Godfighter.
It's 2-2.
And you people complain about putting Thomas Jefferson statues down?
Right. I mean, nowadays they'd be shooting down Confederate statues, you're right. If they did Legendary, they'd be shooting like Robert E. Lee. Yeah, smash the idol of Robert E. Lee.
Always talking about raising the South again?
Jaguars or the Orange Iguanas 1.5. The Red Jaguars have 2. The Red Jaguars are going to the temple.
Oh, that was a cheap fake. Why'd you look at them and they call it for them? Oh, boo.
That was close all the way. Orange Iguanas did a great job.
Yeah, whatever. We're not really kids.
What it is.
We don't want to shake your hand. Screw you, weirdo.
Hush puppies. I remember those. Those were stylish back then.
For anywhere your feet might take them.
Now we're going to see if the Red Jaguars can make it through Olmec's temple, retrieve the jeweled encrusted egg of Catherine the Great. We're going to see right after this.
The nerd is like, one more round and I get to finally kiss a girl.
He was like one of the most sober game show hosts for kids.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, nobody had, like, negative things to say about the host. It was, like, the producers, right?
Right.
I don't remember it, so... Just get to the Yamaha keyboard part.
Hey,
Gosh.
welcome back to Legends. Kristen and Chris have proven themselves worthy and now have earned the right to enter Olmec's temple. But before they get started, Olmec's going to give them some information to help them retrieve the jewel-encrusted egg of Catherine the Great.
Whatever you do, don't crush these nuts.
Start by running up the stairs to the crypt. Grab the book from the skeletons and pass into the pit of the pendulum. Knock over the column.
This 380p camera will show you the way.
Find the key that will lead you into the chamber.
With all of 2 pixels.
Match
the Blair Witch in the corner.
Rules on the left and pass into the room of the ancient warrior.
The corpse of Margaret Thatcher will attempt to stop you.
Which is weird because it's...
Assemble the statue and you may be headed toward the room of the secret password.
So I never understood why it was so hard to assemble that fucking monkey. Did anybody ever figure out why it was so hard to slam together 3 parts of a monkey onto a pole?
It was literally a 3-piece puzzle that one of the pieces was literally a head on a stick.
Right. But look how
they just hit the kids with stupid gas before they send them out there. They're like pumping dumb gas into there, you know? That's not dry ice, that's just dumb gas.
But look at every single kid look at every kid that tries to put the monkey together though. They grab the head and just
the missing skull to its proper.
It's like when you play wiffle ball and they gotta spin you around before you get off the stage.
Race down the stairs and back through the temple gate. The choices are yours and yours alone. You won 2 pendants in the temple games.
You won 2.
Who's going first? I am. Very well, Chris. When Kirk gives the signal, you'll
this is her mouth guard.
And make your way towards the jewel-encrusted egg. Hidden inside the temple are temple guards assigned to protect 3 specific rooms. You can trade your pendant for an extra life and go on, but if you're caught without a pendant, you'll be taken out of the temple, and it'll be Kristen's turn to enter and try her luck. If you can reach the egg, all of the doors of the temple will instantly unlock, and the temple guards will vanish.
I can say that because we're the same age.
Through the gates with the jewel-encrusted egg of Catherine the Great in 3 minutes, and you will both be handsomely rewarded. And here's how.
First, you get some skates. Ultra Wheels His and Hers skate package with protective equipment. Ultra Air skates feature the patented disc brake system.
I don't think that helmet works
very well. Gradually and with more control. Grab the egg within 3 minutes, and you'll
also
receive this game tin bowl from Sportcraft. The 6-in-1
Oh wow!
Billiards, slide hockey, table tennis, chess, backgammon, and checkers.
Snake included.
Olmec loves air hockey.
Egg out of the temple before 3 minutes up. You'll both be going to Mexico.
Whoa! We get to see the real Olmec.
Throughout the U.S. to all the beauty and splendor of Mexico. Aeromexico, fly the warmth of Mexico. And you'll be staying at the majestic Best Western Hotel in Mexico City, right at the main square next to the Metropolitan Cathedral and the National Palace. Hotel Majestic.
Chris is like, you could have the temple coin back. I'm here for the Yamaha keyboard. If you're not giving me that, I'm out. See you later.
I'm out of here, Christian.
Go to Mexico, so let's get him to Mexico. Get in position. Lower your gate, Olmec.
Oh man, come on. You got a chance
POV,
to take
your ice.
3 minutes on the
Let's
clock.
get him to Mexico.
On your mark. Get set. Go. There he goes. There goes.
Come on, Chris. You know, she'll think you're cute if you win. Ah, great, Chris.
Oh, that's so rigged.
Boo!
First room he walked into. Get out of here.
He just trips and breaks his fucking neck. They have to stop his thing. He's done.
Just be medically carted out of the arena.
Yeah, right.
We invited all these immigrants into the jungle anyway.
Oh, he wanted to go up, and he did a great job, but
he wanted to go up, but he was too weak.
Oh, boo!
Ah, they grabbed him by the balls in the Epstein Temple.
He's gonna make her way to the kiddie pool.
Tom Hanks has claimed another child victim.
This girl's serious.
I don't think so.
What is that?
She's got the head. Now, make it hard beat. Make it beat. Boom! She's moving on to Jester's court.
Oh, yay!
Align your body with the figures.
Align your body with the thing. Do the thing. Do the thing.
You can do it, there.
Yes, it works. Get into the dark forest.
Uh-oh. I hate it when forests glow in the dark.
This girl's strong.
Yeah, Chris.
Find the key. Bust through the wall, maybe. Who knows? Yes, she's heading up to the shrine of the Silver Monkey. Minute 23.
Moving like she has no urgency whatsoever.
Right. Hurry up!
Did you just swallow that?
Uh-oh.
Here we go. The greatest physical challenge of our lifetimes. This is how aliens test our intelligence.
No urgency whatsoever.
And they wonder why China got all our jobs?
The aliens abduct you and they're like, now you must assemble the Silver Monkey.
Oh, crap!
Get the thing! Run! Run up the thing and down the thing! Push the thing! Break the thing!
Hurry up! You got an egg in your hand! Come on, Kristen, you can save this!
Go all the way! Run!
She's gonna make it!
Leave it to a woman to go
She's
through the
probably
long
not.
way.
No way! Oh wow! Just leaves Chris completely hanging.
Wow.
She did it! She did it! They both did it! They got the same!
You were there.
He's like, I'm standing right here, bro.
I love it! He is tired! He's tired! I'm tired! We gotta go, so we'll
I'm
see you
tired of this fucking shit. Tune
Why
in
is he
next time. I like how he takes the microphone away from his mouth and it's still the same loudness.
He just headbutted that kid right in the face. Go back, watch this. Look at this.
Fuck you!
He's like, hey, you're standing kind of close, aren't you, kid?
You're trying to back up just a little bit.
The nerd's all like, you're hitting on my girlfriend.
Space?
Stop hitting on my girlfriend, bro! Come back!
I might give you a lesson on personal space here, kid.
You're really fucking about my vibe over here, bro.
Do you just breathe down the neck of every TV game show host you meet, or is it just me? Okay, the first sniff's for free, Biden Jr.
Exactly right.
Like, you have to remember, though, Kyle Fogg, the host there, he's like my height. He's like 5'7". These kids are like 14 years old. And already, like, Chris is like his height. The girl is his height. It's like, he's like my height. He's like 5'7". And it's like these little teenagers coming around. They're almost taller than him. I'm like, oh, yeah, I feel that, bro. I feel that.
At least he got
Somebody
looking after his back.
Somebody had asked earlier for the medal count. This was the official medal count after the entire run for Global Guts. So, as you can see here, this is what it looks like. The United States did not get the most gold medals. For some reason, that went to the UK. We even got second place to Mexico, and that's just sad. That's not at all. The Commonwealth of Independent States is the only country that competed on Global Guts that never won a gold medal. So they didn't win a jack dilly squat. But yeah, as you see here, this is how everything stacked up when it was all said and done. So it was the thing that strikes to your eye the most here.
Ukraine is a solid C student. Can't complain.
This is just how they made it, how it turned out. They played true to their rules. They didn't try to make anything look better than what it actually turned out to be, quite obviously. So they wouldn't have let that Ukrainian kid lose so hard. That's how that went. We had to make up a rule on the fly so we didn't just get completely steamrolled by both of those girls.
Yep. Well, it was something Spain.
The girls didn't touch the thing that they were supposed to touch. That's that they lost.
That's what I'm saying. Is it either that girls don't know how to count or that they just are bad at sports?
Yes, Spain's just the textbook example of we're just happy to be here.
We showed up, everybody. How you do?
España appreciates the invitation. Ole! Portugal, likewise, just happy to have been acknowledged.
See, as long as we get
from Spain,
right? As long as Spain got more medals than Portugal, Spain's happy.
You see that Portugal sees their flag, they're like, "Hey, they remember we're not part of Spain. All right."
Whenever anyone remembers Portugal doesn't speak Spanish, I think that they're happy with that.
They think it's Brazil.
Yep. Well, that was a good episode. I got to catch up on a lot of things. And, yeah. Oh, please, no, stop.
Nothing beats Czar Mitch.
But it was fun. We had a little bit of fun there towards the end. We caught up on everything that I think we can catch up on here, just a little bit. So I'll go ahead and shoot it over to you guys, so you guys let everyone know what you got coming up. We'll start here with Mr. Eddie Brock.
Hi, everyone. I don't have anything going on the internet, but what I will say is I'm starting a new business venture. I'm actually quite excited. And I'm going to open a juice bar that is also it's a juice bar, but half juice bar, half arcade. I think it's something that's going to be really interesting. Yeah. And I have the perfect location and everything. So,
good luck with it, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let us know when you got a name so we can chill it for free.
I got to come up with a name.
The juice did it.
Mm-hmm. just call your juice bar White Bronco, and it's like, boom, you're done.
There you go.
Eddie Brock _YT. And there you
go. I don't have a juice bar, but you can check out what's going on over to Bounding Into Comics, the YouTube channel, and the website to find out what we're yapping about. We did a parody of American Idiot over there, so feel free to enjoy that with both of your ears.
Yep. Hopefully you have both of your ears. Otherwise, it'd be awkward.
How would they know?
They got ears. They got eyes. They don't have ears.
Oh yeah.
But you can't. But you can't. Right. You can't see your ears.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I appreciate everyone reaching out to me. Life's in a little bit of a limbo right now. I wish I can hammer down some long-term plans, but depending on how things go on Monday, we may or may not have a show on Tuesday, but I'll let you guys know what the deal is going to be this week. There won't be a Bible Lens tomorrow. I hope to be back with the Bible Lens show next Sunday, but yeah, we're definitely going to take the night off tomorrow. So like I said, just keep in touch, and then hopefully I'll have some good news for you to share over the course of the next few weeks. But I'm glad that I got to come out here and do this here tonight, because it kind of just sucks, dealing with the stuff that you're doing behind closed doors, but I appreciate everyone coming out and saying good things. But until then, this is the time of the show where we can sign off, get out of here, and say adios and goodbye. So we have an outro here. Cider did the music for it, so if you want to complain about why this song is so bad, be like, "There's that guy over there. He's the one responsible. He did it." So till then, adios, goodbye, and good night. See ya.
Okay.
Making your way through the daily grind takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to tune away? All those nights when you're feeling low, the rent is overdue. and your coffee maker's broken, your luck just seems to skew, and your boss is always on your case. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. Roll out of bed and you feel the dread. The morning's looking bleak, and your internet is down again. You haven't slept all week, and your car just broke down on the way. Be glad there's a place online where you can feel at ease. In the Barroom Podcast, friends, we share our thoughts and teas. Every story shared, every laugh so free. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. So here's to the moments we all hold dear, in this ballroom of the airwaves with friends so near. Every story shared, every heartfelt cheer. It's more than just a podcast, it's where we steer.
I still don't feel like I know how to shoot these things.